Slave DiBiase.
Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? I know I'm a little late. Please don't be upset. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me for your 420. What's going on? This is another live episode, live session of the Offenders Initiative podcast. I am your illustrious host, Slave DiBiase, man, and this is another one of those good things. If you're new here, let me tell you what we do here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, y'all, because that's gonna let me know that y'all like what I'm doing or whatever out here. You know what I'm saying? And I love that. You know what I'm saying? I know I took a week off. It was for creative purposes, y'all. Sometimes I don't feel the most creative, and it gets me to a point where it has me not wanting to really, you know what I'm saying? If I can't give y'all 100% of myself, I kind of take that as it's time to take some time off. That's how I'll be looking at it, yo. But you know what I'm saying? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we got 3 massive episodes that we are going to talk about and break down and react to. House of the Dragon is turning Westeros into pure chaos. I know y'all saw that last night. I know you did. And From just dropped their finale. Also, that has everybody scratching their heads as usual, because again, that's our favorite show that we know nothing about. You feel me? And Raising Kanan keeps proving why it's one of the best crime dramas on TV right now. We're reacting, we're debating, and we're making predictions all session long. You feel me? Don't lurk in silence. Please don't lurk in silence. You know what I'm saying? You can hit the like button, subscribe, share, join in, you know what I'm saying? Roll you up something nice, and we're going to get to reacting with the reactors, you know what I'm saying? Get to talking with the talkers, get to debating with the debaters, you know what I'm talking about? These 3 shows that I just mentioned, House of the Dragon, the From Season 4 finale, and Raising Kanan Episode 3 from Season 5, all very, very fire things. Have you been watching? Did you watch House of the Dragon? Did you watch these things that I'm talking about? We're going to get into it. Now, I just want to know right now in the chat, if you, like I said, if you're new here, tell me what you do here, man. When you're in the comments, tell me what you're smoking on, what you're smoking out of, and where you are from. I always like finding out where folks is from, man, to see exactly where the support, where our friends within session are coming from. You know what I'm talking about? I always like to hear that. So again, tell me what you're smoking on, what you're smoking out of, and where you are from. And what's your favorite TV show out of all of these 3 that we're about to talk and react to, and react to these slight little breakdowns? You know what I'm saying? Let me know exactly what it is, man. Tell me which one y'all want to react to first. That's what I would like to know. We got From, we got Raising Kanan, or we got House of the Dragon. Which one y'all want to talk about first? Somebody let me know right quick before I choose. I will choose. I have no problem doing that. House of the Dragon was pretty fire to me. Raising Kanan was an alright episode, and the From season finale definitely did leave me befuddled and bewildered. I still not know any more than I did in season 1. Yeah. As a matter of fact, you know what we're gonna do? Since we missed last week, we're gonna start off with House of the Dragon, man. House of the Dragon was super fire last night. Coming off of the very first episode of the season, all that intensity, all that fire and blood, and the battle of the gullet and all of that, you know what I'm saying? It left us with a lot of questions as to where the series is going to jump off from here, because you don't start like that. And then, you don't start off fast and then you end up wheezing in the back. They have to write up. You understand what I'm saying? They have to write up. So the series this season can only get better from the first episode. You feel what I'm saying? So without further ado, we are going to react to House of the Dragon first. Since I couldn't get a poll going, pause. We're going to react to House of the Dragon first. This is by Everything Awesome, y'all. Everything Awesome. You know we love them folks and everything that they do over there. And we're going to stop along the way and ask some questions. I'm going to give my little comments and all that. Let's get to it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Everything Awesome, Emergency Awesome as well.
This will be my full House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 2 video. There are a whole bunch of Easter eggs, references to the book, so we will break it all down. Grab your Valyrian weapons, everybody hop in, we're taking the Iron Throne back. The episode title is Queen's Landing, a reference to King's Landing, because
Can I just say I love the whole fact that this episode ended with Rhaenyra taking the Iron Throne. Do y'all see her right there? Now, how she got there pissed me off. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I loved seeing how she got the throne at the end, which is what she's been trying to do for the last 2 seasons. We finally have seen her ascend her rightful place on the throne as the Dragon Queen, the heir to her father, the heir to the Targaryen Empire, the Targaryen dynasty, or as they would say on the show, dynasty, whatever. Yeah, so I love seeing that at the end, she got the throne at the end of this episode. But you know, everything comes at a cost.
Rhaenyra is taking King's Landing with all of her dragons. They continued the trend of season 2 with the tapestry just being added to for the Battle of the Gullet. This time it added the Gullet with Corlys fighting Lohar and then Jason Vermax's death. R.I.P. to them. We also literally see their deaths in the opening scene of the episode. The whole opening part of the episode has no dialogue at all. Like the first person to make a sound is the dragon growling, and then Laurent Marbrand is like the first human to actually utter words. The dragon we see here is Baela on Moondancer, and we see Jace's body float past the camera. All right.
Okay, so Jacaerys and Vermax, the prince and the dragon, they are dead. They died at the Battle of the Gullet. This was after Jacaerys had one of the King's Guard, or one of the Queen's Guard, excuse me, lock his mother in the office in her own room so that she couldn't get out and go to battle, because his reasoning behind that was, mother, if you die, then all of this will have been for nothing. We can't let you, the queen, go out there and get hurt, because everything will fall. All of what we have been through, him losing his brother, all this war, death and blood will have been for nothing if Rhaenyra goes out there, fights, and she dies. So Jace went in her stead. Now, of course, you had the YN damn dragon sheep stealer and the girl Rhaena, who just had to have a dragon, even though she was supposed to be on a boat to Pentos, she just had to have a dragon. So she went and found the wildest YN dragon in all of history. Sheep stealer is AGB with it. He burnt the enemies. He burnt the people that was with him. He burnt things that didn't need to be burnt. YN damn dragon, man. Sheep Stealer said he will not be tamed by anybody. And he proved it in the very, very first episode of season 3 of House of the Dragon. Now let's move on.
IP. There's a really quick time jump to after the end of the battle, like it's mostly ended, and we get the dragon seeds who have arrived back from the God's Eye to help finish off the last of the Triarchy fleet. But there's still a couple of groups of Triarchy that we see across the episode in different places that have escaped the battle. So like not the entire Triarchy fleet has been destroyed. Baela takes Jace's body back to Dragonstone.
Now, when they walk in his body in here, you see all the dragons around. Nobody's really saying anything. Everybody's kind of doing the, oh, what happened? What happened? Motherfucker, what you think happened? War. War is what happened. The prince went out there, fought like a true warrior, but he died. He caught an arrow in the back, 2 of them, one in his shoulder and then one in his neck. And his dragon also died too. So now Rhaenyra's down 2 sons and a dragon. And y'all know, if y'all, for all the folks that read the actual books, y'all know this war is far from over. Even with Rhaenyra ascending the throne at the end of this episode, y'all know this war is far from over. There will be more bloodshed.
On Moondancer, and then they take his body to Rhaenyra in the library of Dragonstone, where she's been spending most of her time. I also think that they film most of Rhaenyra's scenes in here for the most part, because it's just like an interesting place that we didn't see during the original Game of Thrones. In the library.
Okay, let me talk about old girl her who plays as Rhaenyra. She is acting her ass off. She would have did what any mother would have done when they see their son or their daughter just pop up dead. Why did you do this to me? Why did you do this to me? Oh why? That's basically what she was doing over here. So her son is dead. She's telling him, wake up. He's not waking up, baby. He's dead. He caught 3 arrows and he caught one in the neck. He bled out in the water. It's over with. It's war. It happens. People die. But now I asked, as I was looking at the show, I said, is she going to turn up, or is she going to get all depressed and all that other weird shit? Because we don't need it. We need right now a dragon queen. That is what we need to further and to extinguish this war. We need a true dragon queen. And if it takes for her son to die, for her to turn up, I'm all for it.
area, Dragonstone, where she's been spending most of her time. I also think that they film most of Rhaenyra's scenes in here for the most part because it's just like an interesting place that we didn't see during the original Game of Thrones series. Like, it's just a very cool place. And this part of the episode is hard on her. She holds back the tears at first. I love the way that she played this too, like from an actor's perspective. Emma Darcy did a great job with this scene where at first she tries to deny it, like she doesn't want to believe that he's dead. So she demands of him, like, what have you done, Jace? What have you done this time? Presumably her men had let her out of her room after the battle was over, so she's been out of her room for a little while when he shows up. They kind of speedrun the quickness with which all of this happens, but like the battle has probably been done for a little while when this is happening. And she eventually just completely loses it over his.
She was acting her ass off in this episode, man. She was acting her ass off. I truly felt that. I was like, damn, Jace is really gone. She's lost both of her sons. You remember last season, or excuse me, in the first season, she lost Luke because of Aemon. Now she lost Jace. She has no more sons. That's it. That's it. Besides the Iron Throne, what more do you really have to fight for? And at this point, if you don't go get the throne, then everything will have been in vain. She had to do what she had to do so that she could come up.
His body, telling him, how could you have done this to me? This is the second son she's lost, second baby boy, second strong boy. She still has baby Joffrey, though. So there is one strong boy, and he is now.
Hold on. I forgot about little Joffrey. Hell, Rhaenyra got so many goddamn kids that'll make you forget about, you know what I'm saying? Her Aunt Allison got a bunch of damn kids.
Her heir. She lashes out at Laurent Marbrand for locking her in her room. He apologizes and tries to give up his life to her.
See, and this is what I'm saying, right? This is what I'm saying. He locked her in her room for her own good. She said, you betrayed me. You went against your queen. I asked you, I gave you an order to let me out and you never did. Now my son is dead. Me personally, if it takes for that to happen for everything to move forward so that House Black can win, because I'm gonna let y'all know right now, I'm definitely House Black. I'm definitely House Black. let's not even doubt that. I am definitely House Black. If it takes all of this for House Black to move forward, I'm with it, because no stone shall be unturned. You know what I'm saying? There's a reaction for every action. I'm a little high, y'all.
She is correct, though, that more deaths would not help, but she also tells her Black Council later in the episode when they take off to take King's Landing that he can do what he, like Laurent Marbrand can die however he wishes. So that means that she's basically giving him the opportunity to continue living as a member of the King's Guard or seek his own death. He worships the Faith of the Seven, and they do not like seppuku, so you can let me know what you think happens to Laurent Marbrand eventually. And because the grief is so strong, she lashes out at the entire room just because they're all like the closest people that she can see there. Up until the point Daemon gasses her up later in the episode, she is basically in deep mourning, just wrecked for the first part of the episode. We then travel to the coastline around Dragonstone in Driftmark. If you couldn't tell where this is meant to be, like this is meant to be around the Battle of the Gullet. The Black's forces continue to try and finish out the Triarchy troops to survive, while Alan of Hull searches for Corlys along with Adam of Hull, his brother, on his dragon Sea Smoke. We quickly go back to the Eyrie and see that Rhaena has bailed and gone back with Sheepstealer, asking Lady Jane for help, bartering the use of her dragon, basically protection in exchange for allowing them to stay in the Vale. It also seemed like she learned of Jace's death from Lady Jane, like she didn't know that Jace was dead until she tells her.
Okay, and it's this hooker's fault as to why Jace is dead right now. It's definitely her fault. Her and that wild dragon. She just had to have a dragon. So she pulls up on old girl here talking about, Milady, I need asylum. I need asylum. Old girl is like, asylum? Do you know what you just did? Ain't nobody hiding you over here, sweetie. We're not hiding you over here. You're not about to put me and my people in danger for you wilding out with that YN dragon that you had that killed everybody. Because for sure, the queen and her queen's guard are going to be hunting you. Family, no family. Too much happened.
Jane is pissed over her abandoning her original mission to protect Rhaenyra's children with Daemon, Aegon III, and Viserys II.
Yo, old girl there told her, she said, you were supposed to have been on a boat to Pentos anyway. All of this is your fault. I hope they do whatever they do to you and don't come back to my house. But she did tell her the Vale is fast. I guess the surrounding area where she stays at, she basically told old girl, you and the dragon can stay in the Vale. I ain't worried about that, but don't bring your ass back to my house because you're not going to bring death and destruction my way, you and your YN dragon.
who are still very much alive, like still very much a subplot, that were supposed to be boarding a ship to go to Pentos for their safety with the dragon eggs that Rhaenyra gave them.
These eggs are even more fragile.
Ryan Condal did say they would address that storyline eventually. During the books, they were present in the Battle of the Gullet and wind up being captured. Aegon III winds up escaping on his tiny dragon Stormcloud, but on the show, they changed that plot dramatically because Stormcloud is much smaller. The children...
Do y'all like the fact that the show kind of, it goes along with the books, but it kind of does its own thing at the same time? Kind of like how the MCU kind of goes with the comics, but it does its own thing at the same time. Do y'all like how they're changing some of these plots? I don't mind it. I don't mind it if it's going to be good TV to watch. If it's written right, I don't mind y'all changing certain aspects of whatever happened in the book. I have as of yet to read the books. I was originally introduced to regular Game of Thrones, and this is what we on.
Are also much smaller. And Ryan Condal said for practical reasons, they couldn't film the children in the middle of the big battle scene. So the show had to find some other way to pay off Aegon III and Viserys II's storyline. My assumption is that we'll just see that either like later this season or early in season 4, but it'll be relatively close to the way it plays out in the comics eventually, aside from the Battle of the Gullet stuff. So that would mean that somebody has to kidnap them at some point. Aegon III has to escape, but Viserys II has to be captured and taken to the east at some point. So if you wonder what happened with those two kids and their dragons, their dragon eggs, they will answer that sometime later this season, maybe, or in season 4. We'll see.
Hopefully they do it in season 4 because we're too locked in on basically, once again, it's basically Alicent versus Rhaenyra. All of this has been Alicent versus Rhaenyra. That's what all of this has been. It's amazing. These two women have caused 2 empires, and they're all family, by the way. These 2 women have caused family to be split down the middle and to go to war till the last person is left.
See where they push that to. Remember, there's still a lot of triarchy around Westeros that escaped the Battle of the Gullet that we see later in the episode, so that there's still people that can actually kidnap those 2 kids. Rhaena also kind of tries to play Rhaenyra like a villain.
Your old girl right here, she wasn't going. She told her, stay away from my house, you and that nasty sheep-stealing dragon out there. If that isn't the most YN dragon you will ever see in your life, he killed everything. He was ABG with it. Anybody gets it. Sheep Stealer didn't care. She was saying, no, Sheep Stealer obeyed. Sheep Stealer was like, you said Dracarys, right? No, you didn't say stop. You said Dracarys. Sheep Stealer didn't play with a fucking soul.
To get Lady Jane to help her, and she allows her to roam free around the Vale, which is vast. She's true about that, as long as she stays clear of the Eyrie, because Lady Jane doesn't want to incur Rhaenyra's wrath because of what happens later, like Rhaenyra taking the Iron Throne and being the sitting queen now. So part of the idea is that Lady Jane is hedging her bets, like, I don't want to get on Rhaenyra's bad side if she finds out that I'm harboring you here in the Vale.
That's a fact. And I feel her on that. You're not finna bring no destruction around my way. We good over here. There's no problems, and you bringing problems. You and that goddamn criminal dragon you have over there.
All because later we do find out that Rhaenyra doesn't know about Rhaena, but does know about Sheepstealer and thinks that it's one of the Greens on Sheepstealer and is responsible for Jace's death. So Rhaenyra blames Sheepstealer for Jace's death. But they do eventually set up the idea that Daemon will learn who Sheepstealer's rider is and will find that it is his daughter, Rhaena.
Okay. Y'all know Daemon is Mr. Get Shit Done. That's Mr. Get Shit Done himself. I love it when Daemon gets active because, again, shit gets done. When he finds out that his daughter was the one riding the dragon, is he going to have that same sort of energy? That's a good question.
Speak of the devil, we then go to Daemon in the Winter Wolves camp at the Battle of Red Fork in the Fish Feed. They've finished off the Lannister forces and they're just singing and celebrating. And they're singing a song about the Fish Feed, which is the name of the battle that the Maesters recorded. But they also used the term Fish Feed because the Lannister forces were all killed and they are now feeding all the fish. If it wasn't clear, this battle is right next to Harrenhal and the lake is around the God's Eye. That's the water where the fish are being fed right now.
Now, if you read the books, this is one thing that I do know. Small spoiler alert. Daemon and Aemon are supposed to go 1v1 and the both of them die in the God's Eye. That's what's supposed to happen. Now, again, the show goes along with the books, but it deviates at the same time and kind of does its own thing. Will Damon and Aemon finally take each other out in possibly next season or the season after that? We don't know. I like Damon too much, but again, shows like Game of Thrones universe, the Sons of Anarchy universe, the Power universe. I love these type of universes because nobody has job security. You could have a favorite character, and then the next week you see them in an episode, and they're getting their head chopped off. They getting burnt up by a damn dragon, or some crazy shit happen. Like, yo, that was my favorite character. Gone. I love it.
There's a lot of lore that also gets dropped during these scenes here, particularly from Alice Rivers. Anytime Alice Rivers shows up, there's always a bunch of lore splaining. We see.
I like Alice Rivers. I like the witch. Hold on. Let's go back here. I like the witch because if anybody just sat and listened to her, and also Queen Helena, Alicent's daughter, if people would just actually pay them some attention and listen to the shit that they're saying, they're giving up Easter eggs as to what's going to happen in the future. Miss Rivers here, she's a whole witch, and she'll tell you straight out her mouth, I'm a witch. Witches see the future just about in any universe that I've seen, including the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Loki said one time when he was talking to Thor, Thor was like, oh, you can see the future now. He was like, I can't see the future. I'm not a witch. Witches can see the future, the past, and the present. So it looks like it's no different in the Game of Thrones universe. She's telling this man, she's dropping some knowledge on him. She says to Damon, do not return to Harrenhal. It wouldn't be good for you. And they have a conversation right here where with Rhaenyra taking the throne, she tells Damon, all right, I've helped y'all. I've aided y'all just the best way that I can. I kind of need a little something. I need for y'all to give me Harrenhal. And Damon's like, yeah, bitch, ain't nobody giving you no motherfucking Harrenhal. We get some chips. You get some Doritos or something, but we're not giving you no whole castle. You might as well go ahead and chalk that up. So a girl right here, the witch, she's like, oh, okay, that's cool. Y'all ain't got to give me what I want. Tell you what, stay your ass away from him. I'm telling you, it's going to be good for you. But because she's a witch and she sees the future, I know she knows that Damon isn't going to stay away from Harrenhal. So we're going to see exactly what's going to happen with that later on in the future, maybe this season or next season.
Dropped during these scenes here, particularly from Alice Rivers. Anytime Alice Rivers shows up, there's always a bunch of lore splaining. We see Jason Lannister's head, his lion's head, both on spikes as they drink. Black Alley sings, Roderick Dustin sings, Oscar Tully even joins in, Damon also sings.
By the way, with them doing the ballad of fish feeding and all of that, they were singing this song all around. Everybody had a little part singing the song. That wine that they must be drinking in the Game of Thrones universe must be strong as shit because everybody was out there singing. They ain't had no beat. They was just singing. You know what I'm saying? So, kudos to that. I thought it was a pretty cool part right here.
Everybody's having a great time here until Simon Strong shows up from Harrenhal because they're near Harrenhal, bringing them.
Simon Strong brought them some wine that had been aged. You know what I'm saying? I take it that wine, again, I think that wine's strong as shit because as soon as they was like, he brought more wine, the motherfuckers was like, yeah. I said, oh shit. All right.
More wine and the news from Rhaenyra, her letter telling about Jace's death and summoning Daemon back to Dragonstone so that they can take King's Landing. What a way to bring the vibe of a party down. I know a lot of people have always wondered about how Daemon feels about the Strong boys, and it does seem like he was affected, like he feels very badly for Rhaenyra about Jace's death. So,
well, even that's his niece, wife, or whatever. Those are her kids. Those are technically like his kids too. So yeah, he would feel a little bad. But this also pushes the war forward. We've now lost another person. All the party and shit got to go. Daemon got to go to King's Landing because Rhaenyra said now is the time to strike. If y'all remember episode 1, or actually the episode of the last season, Alicent and Rhaenyra made a little plan to where she would basically, will open the gate for Rhaenyra to walk in and take over King's Landing while Aemon is gone. While Aemon's gone and he has the dragon Vhagar, which is the biggest dragon they have in that universe, it wouldn't have been such an easy feat. But Alicent made a little plan to where basically Rhaenyra can come back and take her throne as long as her and her daughter, Queen Helena, were not harmed. And if y'all can remember, Aegon has fled the city. So he's abdicated the throne. Aemon sits in his stead. So that he doesn't die, Alicent told him, go to Harrenhal and chill out. She kind of gave him a little ruse or whatever. She said, your uncle will be there. You can kill him, take over Harrenhal. She knew Daemon wasn't over at Harrenhal. She just wanted her son to safety because he was going to die.
It does seem like he did care about Jace in his own way. So even though Daemon is kind of like the demon on Rhaenyra's shoulder trying to gas her up through the rest of the episode in a number of different ways, both to kill Otto Hightower and to take the Iron Throne just in general, he isn't meant to be like a complete monster. But he is definitely a force of chaos. He then tells everybody the plan is now that he's going to take King's Landing with Rhaenyra, the Iron Throne, and for the Winter Wolves and the rest of the Rivermen to march there and meet them.
By the way, I saw something online, man, on Threads, and it was some lady put up a post, and she was like, yo, she said, if y'all somebody black, if you're black and you were watching House of the Dragon instead of the BET Awards, your black card is under review. Review the fuck out of my black card. First of all, don't nobody even watch BET. Second of all, BET ain't even black owned, motherfucker. Third of all, House of the Dragon has black people riding on dragons. Fake ass awards, black people riding on dragons. You tell me which one you think I picked.
Eventually, and also says he's going to leave a small garrison at Harrenhal that also gets wiped out by Aemon later in the episode too. So early RIP for all those people. Daemon says after Rhaenyra has taken the Iron Throne, then they'll take the Dragon Seeds and take care of the rest of the Green Army, the Hightower Army, which is still very much a thing. There's
now, buddy right here, he's kin to Alicent. Dude right here is kin to Alicent. He's not stopping. I can see on his face right here. It don't matter to him that Rhaenyra took the throne and basically the war should be over. That doesn't matter to him. He's like, we're going to go do whatever we got to do to go get the throne back because that's who we are. We're under Aegon. Even though Aegon is burnt half to a crisp, his dick exploded like a sausage in the fucking microwave. All his words, I didn't make this up, all his words. He's of no use, but they still recognize him as the true-born king. Even though everybody was in the room when King Viserys named Rhaenyra as his one true heir. Everybody was in the room, but they seem to have a problem with this because she's a woman.
Still a lot of Hightower troops. Really love this scene after this of Caraxes just having himself a little drink from the God's Eye Lake. This is the lake around the God's Eye. When he talks to Alice Rivers, she reminds him all about his Weirwood visions across all the episodes during season 2, the portents, the omens of things to come, like the Long Night, the White Walkers, the Night King. When she says an omen of the end of many things, she's referring about both the Battle of the Fish Feed, like the end of his time at Harrenhal here, their time together, like, oh, it's so bad to see you go. You were so much fun.
They will never satisfy my hunger.
I also think it's a reference longer term to the end of the Dance of the Dragons and the end of Daemon himself because of the battle over the God's Eye.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. In the last season, when he saw that vision, he saw dead dragons, he saw dead soldiers, and then he walked into some water and fell in it and was like, oh, this is the prophecy of Daemon Targaryen being swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Him being swallowed up by the God's Eye. So maybe he does die in that water. I don't know, man, but I want to see exactly how the show is going to make it play out live action.
That Alice Rivers has also probably seen in her own visions, and that Helena also told Aemond about last season. So, like, people are starting to learn about the battle over the God's Eye coming. That's going to be a season 4 thing, though. I laughed a little bit when she said it's the beginning of other things, too. That's a bit of a sly reference to Aemond arriving in Harrenhal shortly after this, in the way that she lords over him. Like, Aemond is now her prisoner, not the other way around. You can definitely tell who has the power based.
Okay, when we get here, man, okay, so Aemon goes to Harrenhal to take over Harrenhal and to kill his uncle and to take that whole throne. He slaughters everybody with dragon fire, and he also walks through and cuts down most of the soldiers around there. He comes and he takes over Harrenhal. The witch is still there. As you can see, she's still there. He gets stabbed in the process. I don't know why buddy that stabbed him didn't do the That's how you make sure somebody gone. But he caught him once. But it was enough because Daemon started bleeding out his back and it dropped him.
In the way that she looks at him when he's crawling
Aemon started bleeding out his back and it dropped him. Excuse me.
towards her. She also jokes with Daemon that she's kind of not on anyone's side in the war of the Dance of the Dragons, the Greens or the Blacks. She's serving the will of the Three-Eyed Raven. Putting 40,000 men at Rhaenyra's beck and call is her confirming that she did poison Oscar Tully's grandfather, the previous Lord of Riverrun, so that Oscar Tully could then order all of them to help Rhaenyra. Thank you very much, Alice Rivers.
Fact.
She gets really funny after this, too, with her references. She asks him for Harrenhal and says she's lived there for her very long life, emphasis on the long life, and had seen it pass through many hands. Nobody...
Can somebody, for fictional, mythical purposes, do witches also have the power to like live long lives? They can just keep living and living and living. They're kind of like a little bit immortal unless you find a way to kill them. I don't know.
Seem to care about it, and it just feels like a reference to her being a very, very long-lived witch, like an ancient witch. There are a lot of people that wondered if she was secretly Melisandre or like there was something connecting her to Melisandre. I think it's just the idea that she's also extremely long-lived in the way that Melisandre was extremely long-lived, but they're two completely different characters. Daemon also completely whiffs on the reference, like it completely misses him because she has no title or noble husband. In the phrase want Harrenhal, Daemon and Rhaenyra need the phrase, they have a stronger claim. So Daemon basically kind of tells her off, but says, I'll try to ask Rhaenyra to give you some sort of favor.
I told you. She was like, give me Harrenhal. He was like, look at his face. He like, yeah, bitch, we ain't giving you no fucking castle. They give you some Doritos or something like that. You know what I'm saying? He go get a glass of water or something like that. They got a water bottle for you, some chips. I don't know, something, but we're not giving you no whole castle. She was pissed. The witch was pissed. Would you want to piss off a witch? Just a question I have.
Some sort of boon. When he mentions no noble husband, that might be why she messes with Aemon this season and maybe becomes pregnant with his child, which is a book thing, because if the Greens won and she were hedging her bets, which she might be doing with Aemon here, she could compel Aemon to give her Harrenhal as his concubine and the mother of his child, as he would be king. And even if she didn't force...
I knew it. This fool gets stabbed in the back and he drops to the ground in front of the witch. And he tells the witch, help me, help me. Now, because they didn't give her what she wanted, Daemon and Queen Rhaenyra, because they didn't give her what she wanted, what would be her allegiance to them? There would be no allegiance to them. She's going to go where she's going to get what she wants. And if it means messing with the Greens, that's what she's going to do. So she's going to nurse this psycho back to health, get in bed with him, get pregnant. Now she'll have stake and claim to Harrenhal by way of child. Very, very sneaky.
Aemon to get married to her through some crazy weirwood trip. The king can still do anything he wants and could give her Harrenhal as his mistress. It would
look right there. She was planning. Right here, she was plotting. You can see it in her face.
Be a problem. So it just seems like what Alice Rivers is doing, messing with Aemon later in the episode, is setting that up. Like she wants Harrenhal, and this is part of the way she's going to get it. The only problem with that, and we'll talk about this later this season, is that we know what's going to happen later in the timeline from the Song of Ice and Fire books, so we'll see how that plays out on the actual show. There's a lot of history that they can play with that isn't recorded by the Maesters very well, like just very light touches, but there are like a couple things that they can't change. Like they can't change major events from the later Game of Thrones part of the timeline in the main series.
Facts.
When Alice Rivers tells Daemon, don't come back here again, remember what I told you, it's another reference to the battle over the God's Eye, because if he returns, he's gonna die. So she's trying to do him a solid here, not curse him or anything like that. Like, I'm trying to do you a favor, do not come back. I'm telling you, don't come back.
And of course, because everybody's so tough, he's not going to listen.
This is also a reminder that during season 2, Helena told Aemon, you're supposed to die over the God's Eye, and he literally just flew past the God's Eye to Harrenhal in this episode. So you have a couple characters on the show that seem like they know the future, but nobody is listening to them. We go back to the gullet and see Alan searching for Corlys again. Bela joins in this time with Moondancer. I think they're mostly trying to set up a new relationship between the two of them because of the way the Dance of the Dragons eventually plays out, just to show that they have some chemistry together in this moment. Like they want to establish something between the two of them, just start a little seed here that can grow into season 4.
And you're betrothed.
She talks to him about Jace's death, how they were betrothed, also to remind you that she is now single again. Wink, wink. Remember, single.
Hold on. Yeah, okay, so you could say she's now single, but if her grandfather is Lord Corlys and this is Lord Corlys's son, wouldn't that make him her uncle? Yeah, that would make her. Well, you know what? They are Valerian, which is kin to the whole Targaryen. And in Targaryen family, they all marry each other anyway. And there ain't no other black women around there, so he might as well get with her, I guess.
Adam winds up being the one to find Corlys on Sea Smoke, none the worse for wear. We get a real quick detour to Aegon and Larys Strong continuing on the road to Duskendale. Aegon has started to become more clear-headed, and his detox has started to run its course, like he's slowly getting his mind back. He's less senseless now. Basically, the idea is like slowly building to a place where he can actually make clear-headed decisions, good decisions, not be a complete idiot all the time.
I want to know what's going to happen to Aegon because, like, he's burnt to a half crisp, but also to the whole revenge arc of him getting back at his brother Aemon for taking him off the board. I would like to see that in some sort of way, shape, or fashion. I honestly would prefer for Aegon to kill Aemon rather than Daemon to kill Aegon. I don't know how that whole thing works out, but Aegon is not going to let this go. He's not going to let this go.
And they are saved from Rhaenyra's men by Triarchy survivors who escaped the Gullet, and Larys Strong suddenly thinks more highly of Tywin Lannister, referencing Tywin Lannister, making you think that maybe he's still alive out there even though he wound up in the drink. You remember the #1 rule on shows like this: you don't see a body, it means that they're probably still alive. Larys Strong then tries to get Aegon to go to the east with him, which was their original plan.
We did see him get tossed over the side, but if you don't see a body, yes, somebody can come back.
But Aegon demands that they go to Rook's Rest, where he expects to find one of Criston Cole's garrisons who will help him. Also remember, Sunfire was last seen alive at Rook's Rest. Important things happening at Rook's Rest later this season. Corlys then has a moment
Aegon need to stay his ass away from Rook's Rest. He is in no condition to fight, but what do I know?
With his 2 sons in Bela, when he says, "If this be victory, I hope I never see another," it is a quote right out of the books, because the Battle of the Gullet was such a Pyrrhic victory, and Corlys basically lost all of his wealth, all of his treasures here, which he also tells Adam and Alan about. Like, I don't have anything to my name now other than the name itself, which you can...
Okay. I do like this. Probably is my favorite part of one of my favorite parts of this episode, because in the Battle of the Gullet, the she that he was fighting, the sea captain, she burnt his house. She burnt his ancestral home. He has nothing to leave to his trueborn sons, but what he can leave them and what he can give them is his name. That is what he can do, which is what I've been saying from season 1. Episode 1, you got kids out there, but you acting like they don't fucking exist. You fucking deadbeat, white-haired piece of shit. I'm so glad Corlys Velaryon finally came back around and got his family together. So now Alan and Adam of Hull are now known as Alan and Adam Velaryon. They're royalty now. You understand what I'm saying? I love this whole thing. I love this part of the episode.
You now have. So we get a really great moment of him legitimizing both of his bastards, and Bela's there to witness it. Like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you guys. This is so great." And they start to make peace. Like, it seems like they're a happy family again now, whereas they kind of hated him before this. So this is also to set up the idea of why later in the timeline, during the events of the main series, the Game of Thrones episodes, the Velaryons aren't really big in that part of the story. They're still around. There's another Lord Velaryon ruling over Driftmark. They do have a fleet, but the height of their power was during this Dance of the Dragons era, and they never, ever get back to that level.
Wow. So basically, we saw the end of an era right in this episode. After the Battle of Gullet, they never really wrapped back around as far as like their riches and all of that. Because I want to say Lord Corlys might have been the most richest guy in the kingdom before the kingdom split down the middle between the blacks and the greens.
Which is why there's just not like a very big deal, a very big presence in that later Game of Thrones series. So part of the idea now is that Alan of Hull, the older brother, is now his heir, Corlys's heir, and he will inherit Driftmark someday. This is also why they're giving him a big hero arc this season, as well as Adam of Hull, like a big redemption arc. Like, they're making them feel like much, much bigger parts of the actual story.
Well, I'm glad for that, because they definitely, they were fighting. Everybody was fighting in this war. They definitely did.
Like a big redemption arc. Like, they're making them feel like much, much bigger parts of the actual story. We go back to King's Landing as Alicent watches Aemon fly away to Harrenhal on Vagar, and she goes to the Gold Cloaks barracks to get them to help with her little treason plot in Rhaenyra's plan, and explain how Alicent is going to get Helena to actually act as the sitting queen and order the City Watch to stand.
Now, Alicent went to go talk to Buddy right here, who's like the head Gold Cloak, and she tells him the plan that she made with Rhaenyra, which is, yo, I'm about to open the doors. We're going to let old girl in, and they're going to do what they do. I'm sick of all this war. They can have it. We're going to let Rhaenyra take the throne. And my man right here says, well, some would count what you're saying right now as treason. And she said, yeah, fuck all that. Do you call it treason? Because I need you right now. By the way, this is a whole whorehouse she's in. There's nothing but dick and ass and pussy everywhere. It's just, oh, it was disgusting. Sometimes Game of Thrones can be very, very graphic and disgusting. Don't watch it with your kids.
Down. Daemon Caraxes then returned to Dragonstone, and he just completely dresses down the dragon seeds for abandoning their posts at the God's Eye. And notice how Ulf White tries to hug him. It's kind of a funny moment, but
Ulf tries to hug Daemon because basically they're brothers, like literally they're blood brothers. Daemon don't care about none of that. He back smacked my man right here, which I've been waiting for ever since I've seen him on this show, for somebody to back smack him because he's so rude and ratchet. He don't recognize where he at. He that one person that one cousin you can't take no motherfucking where because he gonna show his ass and he's not gonna have any sort of decorum. That's Ulf right here. Yeah, you don't want to bring him to no sort of company dinner or nothing like that. He gonna fuck it up. Daemon is on some. The queen gave y'all orders to go to a certain post. Why are y'all back? You stupid motherfuckers. You shouldn't even be here. You had one job, which was to stay and keep watch for when Aemon pulls up. And just because you didn't see him in 2 days, that meant leave your post. My man was like, but we didn't smack up. What how? Daemon smacked the shit. What how? He said, take that with you.
Stops halfway because Daemon just looks like he's staring daggers at both of them and absolutely hates both of them, but really, really hates Ulf White, which is all to drive more of a wedge between Ulf White and Rhaenyra's side. Because remember, he really wants the castle. Now he found out that he's not going to get it.
See, and this is the thing. This is the thing. Somebody like Ulf was saying last episode with, yo, we're knights. We're supposed to get a castle. And Adam tells him, no, you don't get a castle, fool, unless you're a lord. You know what I'm saying? They was like, well, you know, Hugh Hammer was like, well, think about all the girls you're going to get. He was like, man, damn that. I can get more girls with a castle. So I see my man Ulf later in the timeline. I see him flipping and helping the other side, all because they're going to offer him what he wants. No loyalty whatsoever. The only person he's loyal to is himself. Trash.
And Daemon starts physically smacking him around, so he really, really isn't going to like the blacks. Just keep an eye on that subplot. Just expect Ulf White to get more and more dissatisfied with Rhaenyra's side.
He's going to flip.
Not a good idea to piss off people who ride on nuclear weapons. Daemon then meets Mysaria for the first time in a good long while, dresses her down again, and claims she didn't do what he asked. She reminds him that he reneged on his promise to let her go free, and they sort of have a moment between each other where they kind of let you know where each other stand in each other's eyes. So the idea is that Daemon isn't like super hot on Mysaria anymore, like, oh, you know, you're cool, like maybe we could get it on at some point, but he's not that interested in her right now, and she's not that interested in him, but they do kind of make peace. They have like this weird alliance going on. And
she's another one who I see possibly flipping if this shit don't go the right way. Her right here. I think she's loyal to whatever side is actually going to win. I don't like it
anymore, like, oh, you know, you're cool, like maybe we could get it on at some point, but he's not that interested in her right now, and she's not that interested in him, but they do kind of make peace. They have like this weird alliance going on. And there are a lot of references to like the weird love triangle, weird throuple energy between them, Rhaenyra, and Alicent as they both talk. Like Daemon even jokes with her about her being jealous of Alicent. Do you think there's still some sort of bond between the two of them? Basically a reference to like the weird throuple stuff going on.
Yes, there's some sort of bond. There's definitely some sort of bond, which I hope we will actually see play out later this season or maybe early next season, because in my opinion, Rhaenyra and Alicent had a little thing going on when they was younger, but what do I know?
It's transpired that there is some bond between them still.
If you are a big fan of all that stuff that's going online, there's like a lot of that online. This scene was basically for you. Daemon implies that Mysaria is also still a little hot on Rhaenyra. But the weird thing is that Daemon is totally cool with it all. Like everybody is like very secure in their own identity, in their own sexuality. It's
Yeah, Damon cool on that because he know it's a good chance he probably gonna get the both of them in bed at some point at the same time. See, that's what I'm talking about. Daemon Targaryen, super duper player. I'm gonna play this shit how it goes. I'm gonna get this whore and my wife in bed at the same time, and I'm gonna be over all of them. I'm not mad at my man. He just gonna play the shit how it go. He's not talking too much.
just like super, super messed up and super weird. For the most part, I think they're trying to make Mysaria a much bigger character this season than she was in season 2. Like, she didn't really have a lot to do in season 2, but she basically becomes Rhaenyra's Mistress of Whispers, kind of like her version of Varys later. There are also a couple references that she makes to this later in the episode when Rhaenyra is leaving to take King's Landing, when she gives her her father's crown and says, "Remember, I was very loyal to you because I'm going to ask you for a job real soon." That job is basically Mistress of Whispers. They then find out that Aemond has taken Vhagar to Harrenhal, meaning that the time to strike King's Landing is right now, pronto.
Remember, Vhagar is the dragon that Aemon rides, and it's the biggest dragon in all of Westeros. If that dragon is off doing something else, it basically leaves the city free for Rhaenyra and her 4 or 5 dragons to come over there and take everything over. And she wouldn't even have to try hard. She could possibly do it without having to set dragon fire.
Alicent Hightower then continues to try and set things up for Rhaenyra without anyone in the Kingsguard being the wiser, and Daemon tries to gas Rhaenyra up again. "I need you to lock in. I know your son just died, but you need to lock in." I already explained how they're setting up the whole sheep stealer Rhaena subplot too, where Daemon's like, "The Greens couldn't have claimed another dragon. I'll learn about this later when I go fly to the Eyrie and find out that it's my daughter." She also makes it sound like she's in so much grief now that she's ready to call it all off and abandon her claim on the Iron Throne. Like, "I just want to be done."
See, emotional. I just want to be done with it. I'm tired. I can't move. I'm tired. I'm tired, David. I'm tired. Damn all that. Too many people have died. We've come too far. It's time to go ahead and lock in and do what we got to do to take the Iron Throne. Otherwise, Jace and Luke and everybody else that has died will have been for nothing. I hated this scene because I was screaming at the damn screen. Hey, ain't nobody got time for that bitch ass shit. Get up and go take the throne.
With it, too much. She even refers to the Iron Throne as just a throne of swords, like it's this common thing that doesn't even matter anymore. And I love the way that Daemon gasses her up using the prophecy of the prince who was promised, telling her about Daenerys Targaryen. He literally references A Song of Ice and Fire, which is what was in Aegon's prophecy on the Valyrian dagger. So A Song of Ice and Fire term is now canon in Game of Thrones. And the whole idea is that Daemon is telling her that this silver-haired girl with the 3 dragons sitting in the desert mysteriously comes from their line, like the 2 of them's line. So
which is why he didn't cut Rhaenyra's head off last season when he saw her. If he wouldn't have saw that prophecy, he'd have got Rhaenyra up out of there, and he would have went and took King's Landing for himself. I'm glad he saw this because their bloodline, their lineage, them having kids leads to Daenerys.
Rhaenyra needs to sit on the Iron Throne because it is destiny, and this person that he saw in his vision, Daenerys, is going to stop the Long Night, the White Walkers, the Great Darkness in the North, which is what he calls it. You have to remember that Daemon literally saw the White Walkers in his vision, so like he's seen what they look like. So he's trying to make it seem like it was foretold by prophecy that it is Rhaenyra's destiny to sit on the Iron Throne and for her line to rule and then eventually stop these White Walkers. So Daemon is telling Rhaenyra that it was literally prophecy in her destiny to sit on the Iron Throne. Are you going to let your children die in vain for this? This is one of 2 times that he does something like this, the second time being when he gasses her up to kill Otto Hightower with Dark Sister.
Oh, man, we're going to get to that in a minute, how he had to gas her up to do what she came to do.
And I think what the show is doing is trying to make Daemon seem complicit or mostly responsible for what happens to Rhaenyra next in her slow downfall, like the bad things that are to come that she wouldn't have done any of had he not urged her on this way. Daemon also really...
I don't know what happens to Rhaenyra in the future. Can anybody tell me that's been watching the show? Do y'all or that has read the books? Can y'all tell me if y'all know what happens to Rhaenyra in the future? I want to say that badass brat Joffrey from the original Game of Thrones series, he mentions her. I want to say she gets burnt up somehow. I don't know, man, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it, especially if it's going to lead to more Game of Thrones spinoffs.
Had he not urged her on this way. Damon also really lays it on thick with her, uses like everything in his bag of tricks, even references her father Viserys. You remember your daddy? You remember all those crazy stories he told you? Those stories are real. I literally saw them. Rhaenyra has no defenses for this. She's like, boom, I am back on board, baby. There's a really creepy scene back at King's Landing of Jasper Wilde trying
to boo this man. Boo. Jasper Wilde is the only person who picked up that Alicent has been conspiring with the enemy. And he comes in, he basically tells her in her little room right there, like, bitch, I know what you got going on. And tell you what, my man shuts the door. He shuts the door. Like, yeah, first of all, I'm going to give you up to the Kingsguard. Second of all, you finna give me some of that pussy by hook or by crook. So they end up getting a little fight right here.
To assault Alicent, he gives her this very nihilistic speech in the same vein as something that Kristen Cole might say, like he's totally in free-for-all mode, like, YOLO, what matters?
By the way, he knew that that Sir Kristen Cole was knocking her down too. So everybody in the kingdom knows exactly what's going on. It's just one of those unspoken, shh, you're not supposed to talk about it type things. But my man was like, since you gave Sir Kristen Cole some, you know what I'm saying? You a whole traitor. I know you about to give me some. You let that nigga Terry bone. I know I look better than that nigga.
We're all going to die. Just everybody have fun. Do whatever you feel like doing. And apparently he feels like assaulting the Queen Dowager. He knows about her relationship with Kristen Cole, and he also learned about her treason plot from her Kingsguard, so he does suspect her, so he does need to die.
Move this man! Move this man! Exactly. Show ass.
She's then saved by Orwyle, who's a friend of hers, like he's been a friend to her, and even though he doesn't know what's happening with Rhaenyra about the treason plot,
Black man, the Grand Maester here tells her, he said, look, he came in the room right as Sir Jasper was about to go ahead and dip the stick in her because he had her down. He had her hands pent. He pulled her dress up. It was about to go down. My man walks in the room right here and he said, you just assaulted the Queen Dowager. Seize him. They seize him or whatever. And he tells old girl after everybody leaves, he look, I don't know what you did. I don't know what you did, Your Grace, but I'm sure it was something desperate and stupid. But I got your back anyway, at least in this part. It's gonna get crazy.
He's still supportive of Alicent. My assumption is this will continue while Rhaenyra is sort of ruling over the Red Keep and trapping Alicent there, like he'll try to help Alicent as well. Rhaenyra and Daemon then inform her very, very unhelpful Black Council that they're taking King's Landing, even though they don't want to hear it. Mysaria gives her her father's crown, reminds her that she's going to need a job pretty soon.
Facts.
We get another moment of Daemon telling the Dragon Seeds off again. Not good, just remember that. But that the plan—
Nah, they're stupid. So sometimes you got to step to your soldiers. I'm a former soldier myself. Sometimes you got to step to your soldiers and tell them exactly what you want. You two are to fly left and fly right and circle the city till we tell you to come down. Can you do that? That's one. You got one job. Can you do that? Oh, dummy here is like, yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Dumbass.
Plan is that once they take King's Landing, they'll take all the Dragon Seeds, all the dragons, and go after Aemond and Vhagar. You also notice when they're flying to King's Landing, Rhaenyra flies point on Syrax because she is pissed. We get a real quick moment of Helena inside the Godswood under the Heart Tree in the Red Keep. She notices that the trees are blooming again, these red flowers, I think meant to be a callback to Lair Strong talking to younger Alicent about the red flowers early in season 1. Alicent takes her and prepares for them and Jaehaera to escape the chaos and set up for Rhaenyra's arrival, and tells her the truth about what happened with Aegon's prophecy and Viserys' death. She explains that the entire Dance of the Dragons war that they're having right now between the Blacks and the Greens is the result of her just mishearing Viserys' dying words about Aegon the Conqueror's prophecy. And
you see how many women have sent niggas to crash out behind them being overzealous, over emotional, or just misunderstanding some shit. Her misunderstanding what her husband said on his deathbed has caused all this death and destruction.
Rhaenyra supposing to have been the rightful heir this whole time. But here's the thing about this, even if Alicent had not misheard him, and that wasn't a thing, like that wasn't part of the show, I think that Otto Hightower in the Greens always planned to usurp Rhaenyra no matter what. It was just a matter of when it was going to happen, and Alicent mishearing Viserys' dying words just accelerated the timeline a little bit.
Okay, now with him just saying that, now I don't feel bad what happened to Otto.
So yes, the Dance of the Dragons is a little bit of Alicent's fault, but it would have happened no matter what, is what they're trying to tell you. Like, there would have always been a war no matter what. We also find out that Helena's new ambition in life is to raise chickens. That's the thing she wants to do after they escape King's Landing.
Yeah, she just wants a regular life. She doesn't like her brother husband, because she married her brother, King Aegon. Her brother husband, she doesn't want nothing to do with him. She's like, yo, I just want to go in the country and raise chickens and be a weird witch playing with bugs and shit.
She's really excited about. And Alicent also tells the City Watch the truth when she tries to get them to stand down to that the Greens have all abandoned the city. Aegon has abandoned his throne. Aemond is gone on Vhagar. Do you want to die in vain? Please just put down your swords. Let Rhaenyra in. And the funny thing here is that I think this is the first time that Helena has ever acted as sitting queen in any official capacity. Like, she's always been just queen, but mostly just in name behind the scenes. This is the actual first time that she's ordered someone to do something as queen. She even seems like she gets really into it too. Like, Helena is having fun here with this. Speaking of Aemond.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've never seen her really like do anything like queenly. She's never really done anything queenly. She just kind of sat back. And this is another one. She's another one who can tell the future. She has future visions of what's going on. She also told somebody that they were going to die. She sees all this. She's a weirdo, but she sees the future.
Someone to do something as queen. She even seems like she gets really into it too. Like, Helena is having fun here with this. Speaking of Aemond, Criston Cole and his men see him flying overhead on Vhagar back to Harrenhal and take off after him. When he arrives at Harrenhal, he begins burning everyone and everything in sight. So this is meant to be a callback to Aegon the Conqueror burning Harrenhal during the conquest of the Seven Kingdoms. Vhagar also wrecks the castle even more than it already is. So like, everybody that goes to Harrenhal,
if I'm not mistaken, there's either going to be a spin-off TV show or there's going to be a Game of Thrones movie of Aegon's conquest. The original Aegon the Conqueror, who starts their whole little bloodline, how he took over and how the Targaryens and the House of the Dragon even came to be. So we're going to go back even further with this movie and or TV show. I'm here for it. Anything in the Game of Thrones universe, I'm rocking with it.
Winds up making it even worse off. This is all part of the curse of Harrenhal. Anybody that holds the castle befalls some very, very terrible fate at some point. RIP to all these troops here, but it's the garrison that Daemon left.
Aemond came through there to take Harrenhal because he thought his uncle was there, and he burns everything and cuts down every motherfucking body. And you got the guy that brought Daemon and the rest of those troops that wine. He's also there at the castle. That's where he lives at. We're about to see how that turns out.
Aemond then dual wields Blackfire, Aegon the Conqueror's Valyrian sword, and the Valyrian dagger, and this is the first time we've ever seen him actually wear armor on the show, because before this, he was never afraid.
Y'all saw him? Aemond was getting busy. Aemond was getting busy. Left and right. He's stabbing and cutting and all that. He was not playing. Versus when Daemon came to claim Harrenhal, he didn't really go all crazy like that. He just pulled up with his dragon and was like, I'm here to claim Harrenhal. And everybody was like, yo, bro, nobody's fighting. Nobody's fighting here. You don't got to do all this. We'll welcome you. It's not a problem. You don't have to kill anybody. Whoa there, Jamal. Don't go get the 9.
It never felt like he needed armor, but he is afraid now, as Helena said. When he runs into Simon Strong in the Central Hall, it's the exact same as Daemon meeting him for the first time during season 2. Same exact vibe. It's kind of comedic, but this time Aemond forces him to fight, killing him with the Valyrian dagger. So
now when Aemond pulled up, I already knew that this was going to go drastically different than the way it did when Daemon pulled up to claim Harrenhal. I said, Aemon's a psycho. He's going to kill this old man that isn't doing anything. He pulls up to the door right here, and he tells Buddy, who don't do no fighting, he says, draw your sword. He was like, yo, bro, I don't even fight like that. We don't have to do this. Nobody wants a war. Like, if you want Harrenhal, here, we'll make accommodations for you. We don't want any trouble. My man Aemond, of course, Aemon's a whole psycho, and he kills him.
Kind of comedic, but this time Aemond forces him to fight, killing him with the Valyrian dagger. So RIP Simon Strong, but if you're gonna go out, you get killed by like one of the most famous weapons in Game of Thrones lore. He then kills Simon Strong's sons using the Blackfire sword, and I love this Alice River scene too, when she just kind of shows up like Batman in the background. Makes it seem like she also is the one who's...
Hey, she did come out the shadows like Batman. I'm not gonna lie to you. She definitely did do that. But I'm not sure if he knows that she's a witch.
Secretly stabbed him in the back with magic. And I love the way they play this scene with her kind of lording over him, like she doesn't even bat an eyelash, but looks at him like a dominatrix almost, like she is going to rule over him.
By this time, Aemon has been stabbed in the back by somebody that works for Sir Simon Strong, and it hurts him really, really bad to the point where it drops him. Now, me personally, again, I don't know why Buddy who stabbed him didn't hit the on his ass. Jamie Lanier, salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to everybody who might be watching. If you just tuned in, we are giving the breakdown of the latest episode of House of the Dragon.
Him as her prisoner, her pet.
What do we have here?
We can talk about this in future videos, like future trailer videos, and when we get to those episodes, but there were a lot of scenes in the trailers previously of Alice Rivers and Aemon that seem kind of mysterious. I think this scene answers a lot of those questions about what's going on. Also, the stuff with Daemon telling her that she didn't have a noble husband or an actual title or a claim on.
Look at him. When she asked for that castle, he like, man, yeah, right, bitch. Ain't nobody giving you no castle. You could fry you some chicken or something, but nobody giving your ass no castle. You don't even have a husband. You are not of noble born. You don't even have a noble husband. Get out of here, you witch of a whore.
On Harrenhal that she could assert. So you can post all your theories about Alice Rivers and her plans for Aemon this season and how you think that's going to play out. And we finally get that awesome shot of Rhaenyra and all her dragons approaching the Red Keep. So it's meant to be a parallel for her flying Cyrax around it when she was young.
Okay, Rhaenyra and the rest of her dragon seeds and Daemon pulling up to take King's Landing. This was another fire part of this episode. It was another part that I liked of this episode. It might be my second favorite part of this episode.
Younger in season 1, episode 1. It was literally like one of the first scenes in episode 1. But here's the thing, it's a very different vibe because at the sight of all the dragons, all the small folk just absolutely lose it, freaking out. It is total chaos, and the people are not happy. They are probably not going to be as receptive to Rhaenyra ruling them as she would have wanted. The music they use for this also sort of hail her as...
You cannot be receptive all you want. She's the queen. You better fall in line or your ass going to end up being rotisserie chicken from one of these goddamn dragons.
As the conqueror, like this threat that's coming in to lord over the city. And it kind of felt like the vibe was more like Daenerys right before she was about to burn King's Landing to the ground. All the small folk, the retainers in the City Watch, lay down their swords outside, but they then basically have to fight their way through the Red Keep, raid style.
Daemon got busy.
A raid redemption style, fighting their way to the Iron Throne. So I love the image.
Him and Rhaenyra fought their way all the way to the Iron Throne room. He's cutting down folks as he's going along. And then he even stops right here and he gives a little shout out with the whole, are you not entertained? Who else wants some of Debo? Who else wants some of Hollywood Cole? He was on type vibes like that. You know what I'm saying?
And the way this part of the episode played out. All the people that Daemon winds up slicing his way through are mostly just regular castle guard. There's only one King's Guard that he winds up fighting, and they don't actually fight. Daemon seems like he's having the time of his life, and you notice a couple of times Rhaenyra puts her hand on Jace's sword. That's Jace's sword that she's wearing on her hip, and almost draws it, about ready to battle with him and kill people, but she doesn't until later to save that moment of her actually wielding the sword for it to be Dark Sister and when she beheads Otto Hightower. When Daemon yells, who else dares rise against us in our house? It feels like the writer's winking at...
Right. Who else wants some of Debo? That's basically what he was on. Daemon cut through all them people to make it to the throne room. It was fire, like I said. If I don't like nothing, I like when Daemon gets busy.
The title of the show, House of the Dragon. Absolutely love the way that Daemon pushes the doors wide on the throne room and they make their way towards the Iron Throne with one last group of the King's Guard and the Castle Guard, but they are saved eventually by the Gold Cloaks, who have always been loyal to Daemon for these past 20 years.
Yeah, at this point, you see those guys behind Daemon and Rhaenyra, they were still loyal to King Aegon. They blocked the throne, and Daemon was like, well, it's going to be what it's going to be. Let's do what we got to do. The Gold Cloaks show up from what Alicent told them, which is Rhaenyra's going to need help, and the Gold Cloaks were like, we're loyal to Daemon. The head Gold Cloak tells them, yo, Daemon is the one who gave me my Gold Cloak 20 years ago. I'm not going against this man for nothing. So y'all can lay down y'all swords, or it's going to be a whole problem in here that y'all can't walk away from. And when you watch it, you'll see one of the soldiers from the Greens immediately lay down his sword like, man, I'm not dying for this shit. Clack up. Everybody else starts putting their sword down except for the one in the middle.
Thank you very much, Luther Largent, for helping save their lives here and helping Rhaenyra secure the Iron Throne. He's going to be named a lord because of this. Like, he'll get a title because of this. Rhaenyra then says the job is not done until they find Aegon because they don't know what's happened to him. They don't know that he's escaped with Larys Strong, who Orwyle basically tells them about, like, no, he took off a while ago.
She yells out, bring Aegon the usurper to me. By this time, of course, y'all know Aegon is no longer in the city. He fled because he knew that if he stayed there any longer, his brother was going to kill him right where he slept.
They're both gone. He then...
So at that point, it's like, in order to show to have a show of strength, Rhaenyra has to take the head of one of her enemies. She has to take the head of one of her enemies in order for folks to legitimize her as the actual queen of the Iron Throne.
Escape with Larys Strong, who Orwyle basically tells them about, like, no, he took off a while ago. They're both gone. He then swears fealty to Rhaenyra because he was sympathetic to Rhaenyra. Like, he's a genuinely nice guy, but he's also...
Yeah, he swore fealty to Rhaenyra because he don't want his head cut off. Nigga, ew, that's just a survival thing.
Also sympathetic to Alicent, so I feel like they're going to use him to go backwards and forwards between Alicent and Rhaenyra this season. There's going to be a lot of scenes with the two of them. He then gives out Jasper Wilde, who's a total dirtbag. Love to see him die in this episode, who was in the Black Cells. And we find Otto Hightower. So big mystery solved from season 2. Otto Hightower had been in the Black Cells this whole time since...
Well, we knew that from this scene. If you watched the last season, you knew he was locked up. His own grandson had him locked up after he took the position of Hand of the King away from him and gave it to Sir Christian Cole.
It sounds like Aegon fired him, and Larys Strong just threw him in the Black Cells, expecting that something like this might happen. So he's kind of a contingency plan to give Daemon a favor if he needed to. Like, if for some reason Larys Strong needed to barter for his life. That's probably what...
Larys Strong, the rat, the guy who's traveling with King Aegon, keeping him alive, he's so smart that he sees all the chess pieces and he's playing 5 moves ahead. Y'all can say he's a rat, he's sick, he got a feet fetish, whatever. My man is playing 5 moves ahead in the Game of Thrones.
Otto Hightower was down there. So part of the idea here is that Larys
Yeah,
Strong
my
is
man
trying to
right
hedge his
here.
bet.
He's playing 5 moves ahead. He might be the smartest person right now in the entire universe. He knows what's going to happen before it happens, and he's just moving strategically like, yeah, if there's a way to mitigate a certain situation before it even happens, let's go ahead and do that. So they fled King's Landing before either one of them could be killed by Aemon.
It's with Daemon, like, please don't kill me because I gave you that guy. We get a real quick scene of Rhaenyra greeting her supporters in the city, like the other lords and ladies who were still her supporters even under Aegon's rule. As she holds court, they begin to execute Otto Hightower and Jasper Wilde. And Otto also looks at Rhaenyra's supporters, saying that he expected them to turn on the Greens. Like, I expected as much. Like, he always knew that they would support Rhaenyra over Aegon. He also reveals that he doesn't know what's happened to the rest of the Greens since he was thrown in the Black Cells, because remember, he was in there for most of season 2. So he doesn't know about Aegon escaping with Larys Strong. He doesn't know what happened to Alicent, what happened to Kristen Cole, everyone else on their side, or even the Hightower army. He doesn't know anything about that. And we get that really, really twisted scene of Daemon gassing her up again to be the one to swing the sword.
Okay, so Daemon tells Queen Rhaenyra, you have to take somebody's head here in order to legitimize yourself as the queen, as a show of force. You have to take somebody's head here. And who better than to pull Otto Hightower, the grandfather of the usurper, to pull him and to take his head in front of everybody to show, hey, this is my shit. You know what I'm saying? But her bitch ass started crying. Yo, this is what got me. This might have been the worst part of the show. All this sniveling. She had snot coming out her nose because in order for her to do this, she has to take Otto's head herself. This is one of those situations where a motherfucker scream all that killer shit until they got to do some killer shit themselves. But who in the world has ever made an omelet without cracking a few eggs? So you had to do it, sweetie. She was doing all this sniveling and crying. I thought Daemon was going to smack the shit out of her. Hey, stop that bitch ass shit. This is what we need to do right now. You want the throne? This is how you become queen. Take his head. My man right here, Otto, was like, let Damon do it. At least he gonna do it in one stroke versus me being hacked at. So he disses her even before he dies. She not strong enough to cut my head off in one while. Let Damon do it with her weak ass. Which is why Damon's like, nah, I'm not doing nothing. She's gonna do it. And if she got the hack at your head, motherfucker, so be it.
One who passes the sentence should be the one to swing the sword. Ned Stark would be proud of Rhaenyra. Even
that's a fact. In the Game of Thrones universe, if you sentence somebody to die, you got to be the one to carry out the sentence. There is nobody doing the dirty work for you. So she sentenced him to die. She had to take his head.
Though she does this in a really hardcore kind of way, like it's a really, really twisted vibe. Otto Hightower also does not help his cause when he puts her down, claiming that she can't do it herself, sort of foreshadowing her having to swing a couple times. He also invokes Viserys' name, her father, which he really, really does not like. I think the reason why the writers have Rhaenyra use Daemon's Valyrian sword, Dark Sister, is because it used to be Visenya's Valyrian sword, Dark Sister. And if you remember in season 2, Jace found her reading the old book about Aegon's conquest, reading the page about Visenya wielding.
I'm not gonna lie, when I saw Otto Hightower get his head cut off, I was like, bravo, bravo. I haven't liked that motherfucker since episode 1 because I always felt like he was always like trying to challenge King Viserys. You know what I'm saying? Before Viserys got all old and sick, this motherfucker was always like challenging him and shit like that. So when you finally see his head get lopped off, I was like, finally, shit.
Dark Sister like this warrior queen, and Rhaenyra was like, maybe I should be more like Visenya and use her as like a model for my behavior. Jace got very worried for her because Visenya was so hardcore, like, please, mom, don't turn out like that. Like, no, don't be another Visenya. That's bad. Because Visenya was also the mother of Maegor the Cruel, and the small folk during the Dance of the Dragons eventually do start calling Rhaenyra Maegor with tits, which is a very, very bad thing. Like, the small folk
They call her Maegor with tits? That's fucked up.
Turning on Rhaenyra. She then walks to the throne with Otto's blood on her feet. They're very, very obvious and heavy-handed with the metaphors here. And she finally sits on the Iron Throne, clutching Jace's sword just as Alicent is hauled in with Helaena and Jaehaera and see her father's dead head.
This is going to be some more beef because they had a whole discussion as to how this whole situation was to go, how Rhaenyra was supposed to enter King's Landing and take over the throne. It wasn't to kill her father. It was to kill Aemon and Aegon, and then they were going to take the throne. Her father getting his head cut off was not part of the plan. This is going to start off more beef with them. They had squashed their beef. It's back on now. I guarantee.
Horrified at what Rhaenyra has done and what this means for the future.
So Rhaenyra is over here crying because she sees Alicent come in here. She's like, oh, shit. She does see her father. That's her father that is dead in front of her with his head cut off. She's crying and shit, but then she kind of straightens up like, like he said, yeah, I did it. Yeah, it had to happen. Your father, hooker.
There's going to be a lot more to talk about in the trailer for episode 3, so that'll be like my next real big video to post.
But that is when the episode came to a close, y'all. That is episode 2 of season 3 of House of the Dragon. How are we feeling about that? Give me some of your theories as to where they might go next. What do you see happening with Aemon and the Witch, Daemon and Rhaenyra, now that they've taken over King's Landing and they're keeping Alicent and Queen Helaena as prisoners? Where do you see the rest of this season going? Because again, they came out, the first episode, they came out swinging. You can't write down. You have to write up when you come out like that. You know what I'm saying? And again, those folks that said your black card is being reviewed if you didn't watch the BET Awards over House of the Dragon, review the fuck out of my shit because I'm not watching that shit ever again. I haven't watched the BET Awards ever. I haven't watched that shit in years. Fake ass awards. Awards don't even mean nothing, man. But yeah, shout out to House of the Dragon, HBO Max. This was another banger episode. I'm going to give this episode a 8. I'm going to give this episode an 8. This was an 8th of some za. I'm fucking with it. But, tell me how y'all feeling about that one in the comments. But on to the next one. We got from season 4 finale. Where are my Frumians? Where's all my folks that visit Frumville? Tell me how y'all feeling about the last episode. Do you know any more than you did from episode 1 of season 1? Has it answered any questions? Do you feel like you know how some of the rules work in Frumville? We about to get into it real quick, man. This is by way of Think Story. Think Story gonna give us some quick little tidbits on this one. Hold on, y'all. Don't forget to give Think Story a like, comment, and subscribe. And this is going to be From Season 4, the ending explained. We got one more season of From. Season 5 is the series finale. So the next season, all bets are off. We're going to see everything. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. Again, this is by way of Think Story. Give them a like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it.
Well, I don't know about you, but the From finale had me like... We had multiple deaths, killer storms, and some heartfelt father-son moments. But did we get the answers we've been desperately wanting?
No, we did not. We did not. I'm looking at the screen the same way Jade looking at the screen. We did not get any answers. Again, this show is fire. And when I tell people you should watch the show From, I say, man, that show From is fire, man. And as soon as somebody tell me, well, what's it about? I'll be like, I don't know. I don't know.
If there is something you need us to understand, you're going to have to do a little better because we are not getting it.
That's a fact. Come on, writers.
Deep dive into the episode where we'll be exploring some of the biggest theories from the season finale. If you're new to these videos, make sure to like and subscribe, as I do plan on covering the final season. Plus, check out my House of the Dragon videos. Shameless self-plug. The season finale has been building up to one major event, the retrieval of the bones. These aren't just any old bones, but the bones of the children sacrificed centuries ago. In season 1,
by the way, these bones of these Ankui kids, I'm so sick of seeing these motherfucking kids just walking up, not giving up no answers, pointing, just a bunch of nothing. And I'm sick of it, even though the show is fire.
Tabitha had a vision in the lighthouse where we see these years etched in the walls, which I still continue to believe are the start and end dates of previous cycles. Each cycle tells the same story. Each cycle has different people playing the same roles, and each cycle can be changed ever so slightly. For example, the man in yellow tells Tabitha in episode 408,
You're here because you're about to do something you've never done before. The notion of you digging up those bones, you may have finally found the key to setting those children free.
In the finale, the boy in white, who should really be called the teen in white, tells Sophia, aka the man in yellow, that she's going to lose this time.
And you know what? He's another the boy in white, the teenager in white, the young man in white, the goddamn, he gets on my nerves. I feel like him and the man in yellow are working together, and all of this death and destruction is some sort of chess game between the two of them. Because if he talks to Victor as much as he does, why hasn't he given him any sort of pointers to help? The only thing he told Victor within the last 2 episodes is, don't let them dig up that tree. Because y'all know the whole plan for them to go down into the tunnels where the monsters are at during the day, dig up the bones. They're going to pull the bottle tree out of the ground, which leads a hole right over the chamber where the children were buried. They make this rope ladder to where they can climb up the rope ladder and get out of there before the monsters come and get them and all of that. The plan went to shit, obviously, because of Sophia, but we're going to get to that.
Suggesting that the man in yellow has won every single time. It appears that when the man in yellow wins, the cycle restarts, creating this never-ending loop. This loop is shown through the infinity symbol on Boyd's ring, as well as on the cave paintings drawn by the monsters in season 1.
What does it all mean?
But we have to ask ourselves,
what does it all mean, Basil? We don't know.
Why didn't the retrieval of the bones work? In fact, it seems to have only made things worse. In episode 409, Sophia tells Clara about the importance of rituals, and that it's not just about what you do, but how you do it. So I've identified 3 theories on why this bone ritual didn't work. The first is that they don't have all the bones. In episode 409, Tabitha showed us this close-up of the talisman.
Okay, these talisman are right here are what keep the monsters out of the homes at night. We still don't even really know how these talismans work.
You'll notice 8 notches in the shape of an F, 1 for every child that was sacrificed. But if you look at Jade's vision of the Ankui kids who were slaughtered, there are only 7 of them. This hints that there was one survivor and might explain why each cycle has a survivor like Victor and soon to be Ethan. This would imply one child's bones are missing from completing the set. Second, as Sophia hinted, it's possible that the ritual was not done properly.
Yeah, the ritual was not done properly. I'm learning that the more I do research on this show, the actors, the people who are in the show don't know what's going on. They just come to work every day and act out the parts. They don't know what's going on either. We have no idea how this town works. For it to work on ritual, we have no idea how this town works. You remember a great show called Supernatural with Sam and Dean Winchester? After a few seasons, we started to know how certain objects in that universe, how certain creatures, how certain monsters, we started to know how they worked. In this show, there has been 4 seasons and we don't know how anything works. We don't know how nothing works. Still don't have any answers.
Jade and Tabitha missed something that they were supposed to do to ensure the ritual was done correctly. And finally, and this is the one I tend to gravitate towards, is that the ritual is not complete. By the end of the episode, we can assume that Jade and Tabitha have made it out of the tunnels alive with the bones. But what are they supposed to do with them once they get out of there?
Burn them.
Why I think there's more.
I'm going supernatural style. Burn the bones. It will set those kids free. And no, in the supernatural universe, whenever you would find the bones of like some old monster or something like that, or some ghost or apparition that's come back and it's haunting people, as soon as you find the bones of that person, you burn them and the monster goes away.
More to be done, and I think it involves the Lake of Tears. Way back in episode 402, a vision of Jim appeared to his son Ethan, telling him to find the Lake of Tears. Now, there was definitely something weird about this Jim. He would constantly look back into the forest as if someone could be following him, and at the end, he kind of vanishes into thin air. Considering Sophia would have been in town with Sarah at this time, I don't think it was Sophia taking on his form. I also don't think the lake near the settlement is this Lake of Tears. In season 1...
So then where's the Lake of Tears?
After Ethan awakens from a seizure, he tells us this cryptic vision in which he saw the Lake of Tears followed by a spider. Spiders have been seen all throughout the show. From the spider forest Boyd and Sarah passed through in season 1, Victor's drawing of a spider with these tears or droplets, and spiders crawling in Jade's mushroom trip.
I think that the man in yellow is the biggest spider. He's the biggest spider. He's the predator. All of this craziness is happening to where this might be a situation like, and I'm really shooting in the dark here. This might be a situation kind of like It, where every cycle, the man in yellow has to feed. And as soon as he's done feeding, he goes away for a while. And then after he wins, the cycle starts all over again, which will be the feeding cycle. It all leads up to the last part where he gets to feed. So this whole entire time, these whole 4 seasons, the man in yellow has been playing with his food, is basically what I'm trying to tell you.
Whatever the Lake of Tears is must somehow be connected with the spiders, and the settlement lake has no such connection. This Lake of Tears and spider imagery also makes me think of the nursery rhyme The Itsy Bitsy Spider. The rhyme, like the show's story cycles, is an infinite loop in which the spider goes up the spout, is washed away, only to climb up it again. In this analogy, the spider here would be the man in yellow, who, despite the efforts to get rid of him, keeps coming back. So if the ritual isn't done, what's next? What do we do with these bones? I think the bones have to be taken to the Lake of Tears. Way back in episode 101...
Nah, burn them. Burn them. Burn everything.
When Ethan's finger puppet Norman dies, Ethan tells us that the fairies can take him to the Lake of Tears to be healed. Ethan tells us on many occasions that the lake has magical healing properties. It's the reason he wants to find it, so that it could bring back his dad. What if it can bring back the children too, resurrect them, and possibly unite them with the missing child that got away?
Okay, so now we talking about zombies and shit. What the hell?
The biggest WTF moments of the finale was the sky turning from day to night.
Okay, so this part, right? The sky turning from day to night. I thought this was some complete bullshit. As Tabitha and Jade are getting out of the cave, the hole from the bottle tree that they pulled up, you can see a bunch of sunlight coming through, right? The monsters can't come out in the sunlight. It hurts them. All of a sudden, as they're figuring out a way to get out of there, the sky starts to get dark. It starts to look like it's about to rain and all sorts of shit. I immediately looked at the screen and was like, oh, that's some bullshit. We don't know how this town works, and they're making up shit and rules as they go along. But I can't take my eyes away from the show because I want to know how it ends.
Allowing the monsters to make chase to Jade and Tabitha. Is this one of Sophia's powers? And if so, why doesn't she make it night all the time? I think this has to do with how the world operates. I've said since season 1 that this town is pulled in two directions, good and evil. When things get a little too bad, something good happens, and when things get a little too good, something bad happens. It's almost as if the town is trying to create this balance. There are countless examples of this throughout the seasons. Take, for example, when Boyd thought he was a goner when he got lost in the forest and was nearly killed by the monsters. He just happened to stumble upon a stone hut at the time that had the talisman in it. Or how about when Donna nearly died? Boyd kept at it, stating she doesn't get to die until he says so. Then magically she resuscitates. But
okay, I think that's a little foreboding. That's a little foreboding. With the next season being the last season in this show, in this series, do we see everybody making it out alive and making it home safe? Tell me in the comments if y'all think everybody's going to make it out alive and make it home safe. Tell me in the comments if y'all think everybody's going to make it out alive and make it home safe from Fromville. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Boyd telling Donna, you don't get to die until I tell you you can die. And he brings her back to life because he knew he can't run that place by himself. Nobody would listen to him.
this episode has arguably the most glaring example of this when it comes to the earthquake. After day turns to night, an earthquake comes out of nowhere, creating a new exit for Jim and Tabitha to escape.
Which I thought was super duper crazy, right? Now, along with it turning from day to night in the middle of the damn day, that also leaves everybody that was trying to help Jade and Tabitha out with the rope ladder, that's also bringing them in the dark, meaning the monsters can come out and get them. Not all of the monsters stay in that cave. You feel me?
Writing, this is called Deus Ex Machina, Latin meaning God from machine. It's a term for a plot device in which something seemingly impossible, like an earthquake, fixes an unsolvable problem, like getting trapped by the monsters.
Bullshit.
It's as if God himself caused this earthquake in order for the story to play out the way it should. And considering how much this show leans into its writing and storytelling motifs, such as the reoccurring appearances of the Cromonokle and the Grand Gulagog, I don't think this is a coincidence. Pulling the two ends of this metaphorical rope, swinging the town between good and evil, are the boy in white and man in yellow.
The boy in white get on my fucking nerves. He's so fucking weak, man. The man in yellow kind of gives up answers in certain things as he goes and does all his bullshit around the town. Now, this entire episode, while the town is trying to figure out and help Tabitha and Jade get those children's bones and get them out of the cave safely before the monsters come and get them, nobody's watching Sophia, the new girl, the new weirdo girl. Nobody's watching her as she's going around to every building in Fromville and removing the talisman. Now, if y'all can remember, the talismans is what keeps the monsters out at night. And if you're so used to something being hung up in your house or something working in your house, you're gonna walk past it as if it's just a regular thing. So people are gonna walk back into these houses as it becomes nightfall, episode 1 of season 5, not noticing that the talismans are no longer there because they expect them to be hanging up.
Since some of the writers of From used to be writers on Lost, I think they're taking a page from the Man in Black and Jacob. These were two diametrically opposed forces, one that wanted to protect the island and the other that wanted to destroy it, yet the two couldn't harm each other. I think the same dynamic applies to the boy in white and the man in yellow. Us humans are merely chess pieces on a board manipulated by these two sides.
I told you, this was like some evil chess game between the boy in white and the man in yellow. Trash.
The man in yellow also shares many of the same characteristics as the man in black. Both can shapeshift into those who have died, and both manipulate the inhabitants with promises of ways off the island or from town. Sophia notes that the darkness means they are getting close to the end, and it gets very messy at the end. Instead of accepting Sophia's bargain, Elgin prays. He told Julie that he believed this place was a test from God, and he isn't going to give in to another mysterious entity with promises of escape in return for doing evil things.
I was so glad when Elgin died on this episode. Rest in piss to Elgin, because you have to be the stupidest motherfucker in Fromville to find a picture of somebody that looks like somebody else, word for word, bar for bar, that's right there in town with y'all, and you take the picture and go to this person. Hey, she looked like you. No, everything that you've seen in this town is weird. Everything that you've seen in this town is weird. If I would have saw that picture of Sophia, I would have took that shit to Boyd or Donna. Straight up, I wouldn't have said nothing to her. I'd have moved right on past her. What's up, Sophia? And kept it moving. I'd have took that picture to them. Instead, he said, Sophia, this person looks like you. She said, that's because it is me. I'm sorry, what? He tries to get out of the diner and, oh, big fat Claire gets in his way. When I tell you I would have Bobby Boucher'd her to get out of the way, I would have tackled Claire. Get out my damn way. I'd have trucked that girl and got up out of there.
Thus, Elgin is killed. But we'll talk about how he might come back in a bit. As we end the season, the town is in its worst situation yet. Marielle and Elgin have been killed, Fatima is MIA, and the talisman have been thrown into the abyss of a faraway tree. So where does that put our townspeople? First, life without talisman.
Y'all got to remember, see, life without talisman. He's about to talk about it. Y'all got to remember, the man in yellow, so aka Sophia, threw all the talisman down a forever tree, a faraway tree, excuse me. So the end of the episode, it's still light outside. So that means when we get back in season 5 next year, it's gonna transcend or transition into nighttime. They don't have any talisman. It's gonna get crazy. That first episode, that very first episode, when they realize there's no talisman and there's nothing to protect them from these monsters that are bulletproof, that are all of that. There's no protection now. Remember, the man in yellow says it's getting closer towards the end. Now it's time for him to eat. We don't even know what the man in yellow is. You're eating human body parts, human organs and all that. What is he?
Isn't something unheard of in town. Remember, when Boyd's family first arrived, there weren't any. The townsfolk had to survive at night in these hidden underground bunkers. It wouldn't be until sometime later that Boyd would stumble upon the talisman in the forest, which would allow the townsfolk to survive with some degree of safety. To me, there's nothing these guys can do but revert back to the underground bunker system. The settlement is basically a kill zone with those nightmare dolls, and there's nowhere else to go. Maybe they'll get lucky and Sophia left a talisman behind, or the ones she dropped in the faraway tree could be discovered. I'm also interested if these talisman will be separated around at different places, or if they'll all be in one place. We don't really understand how these faraway trees work.
We don't understand how nothing works. Come on, writer, man. I feel like going in the writer's room and sweet chin musicking everybody. We don't know how nothing works. And I feel like an idiot as a grown man. I keep watching this show and I don't know nothing about it.
For example, when Tabitha went through the bottle tree in season 2, it led her to the lighthouse. But when Dale went through that exact tree, he ended up in the concrete of the motel pool. Then there's the psyche of the town itself. During Jade's mushroom trip, young Jade told us that in every cycle, the town turns on him and Tabitha. If there's any time for the town to do so, it's now. It was Jade's idea to tear down the bottle tree, and that has caused a shitstorm of problems.
By the way, young Jade in Jade's little mushroom trip, he also said, because, you know, Jade gets killed every cycle, but he also put in a little tidbit, yeah, you need to feel sorry for Tabitha because what they do to her every cycle is even nastier. So I'm thinking after they tore up the bottle tree, we had a couple of people get killed. The town went from day to night in the middle of the day, allowing the monsters to come out and all of that. Everybody's going to start feeling the same way. If we wouldn't have did what we did, this town would have left us alone. Get these two motherfuckers out here and fry them. They did it. They did it. And that might be the cause of Jade and Tabitha to come to their end. Will it happen in this cycle? This might be the cycle that sends everybody home, or this might be the cycle where nobody goes home again.
We've also had Sophia planting the idea amongst the townsfolk that the bad things started to happen in town with the arrival of Jim and Tabitha, who
Jamie Ace 420, what's going on, fam? Salute, salute, salute. Tell me what you're smoking on, what you're smoking out of. You feel me? What's going on with you?
just so happened to arrive on the exact same day. As Patty states,
It doesn't matter. We made things worse.
Patty was right. It doesn't matter. We made things worse. We upset the town, and now this place is finna punish us. And I happen to think, burnt face Patty over here might be right. We've watched 4 seasons of this show, and this last episode is the first time the town ever went from day to night in the middle of the damn day. We've never seen anything like that, right?
I hate this place angry. Now we're gonna be punished.
we also don't know the fate of Sophia. The last we saw her, she threw those talisman down a faraway tree. But
Dabbing some Bruce Banner. I hope it tastes wonderful and gets you where you need to go. By the way, I think I kind of feel like we need to catch up on the finals, Killer, since the whole goddamn group is back. But that's another story for another time. You know what I'm talking about.
will she come back to town in her Sophia form? It's possible, but risky. With the death of Elgin, the compromised rope ladder, and the missing talisman, it wouldn't take a rocket scientist to get suspicious of Sophia. And
Okay, if Sophia doesn't show back up in her Sophia form, she could show back up as Elgin. The man in yellow can take the form of anybody that has died in the town. That's one thing I do know. And the only thing I know about that, the only reason why I know about that is because she said it. She killed Elgin in this episode. If we see Elgin in episode 1 of season 5, you already know that's the man in yellow.
in fact, if I were Sophia, I think the best plan would be to take over as Elgin. Remember, she told Clara to get rid of his body, so people might not even know he died. Plus, the man in yellow can take the form of anyone who has died. Turning into Elgin allows the man in yellow to pin all the bad stuff on Sophia while maintaining a presence in town. In fact, if the man in yellow shows up as Elgin, he could show the town the Polaroid of Sophia as proof she was evil all along.
I need for somebody to get smart around here. And this whale right here is the reason why Elgin's dead. But I'm glad Elgin's dead because he was one of the stupider characters on this show. He got on my nerves ever since day 1, him showing up.
Can even have Clara backing up all the Man in Yellow's claims. I should also bring attention to this woman found in the back of the Polaroid. A lot of people think that's Julie's story walking. Honestly,
I don't know if that's Julie's story walking because y'all got to remember, Julie doesn't believe that she actually story walked when she went back in the past. Now, Julie has story walked a total of 2 or 3 times within these 4 seasons so far. She went back in time. She saw some folks chained up. Then she went back in time one time and she saw the monsters, and one of the monsters jumped on her, was about to kill her. Then she went back in time and she actually saw the end of the cycle where the man in yellow was eating everybody. And the man in yellow almost got her in the past. He almost got her. So here's another question that I have. If Julie story walks and she dies while she's story walking, does she die in real life? Does she die in the present? That's a good question.
it's hard to tell, but it would be pretty awesome if it was. And next season, we see her interacting with the Sophia before the man in yellow took on her form. It's also possible Sophia could arrive in town as a new person entirely. Remember that Jim, Pastor Dunn, Marielle, and Roger have all died without any new townspeople arriving in town. So I would say season 5 is ripe for a new arrival in town, one which the man in yellow could exploit. For me, the key to solving everything involves story walking.
I don't know, because you see Julie story walked right here. She almost got.
I gotta admit, I was upset at how little story walking was incorporated this season, especially after it was hyped at the end of season 3, and we got a taste of Julie doing it midway through the season.
See? She story walked to the end. Everybody's dead, and the man in yellow is just having his way like a motherfucking fat ass barbecue.
With things taking a dire turn in town, I think Julie will have no choice but to continue her forays into story walking, even if it means giving her a seizure she'll never wake up from. The problem is that she'll have to learn how to travel back to the right moments with the use of bookmarks, something she was unable to do properly. I think the person who will help her do this is Eloise.
Now, Eloise is supposed to be Victor's sister, and there's a theory going around, you know what I'm saying, from everybody that watches From, that Victor's sister is actually not dead. And y'all know when y'all read books, when you look at movies, if you don't see a body, it's a good chance that person can possibly pop up again.
Louise, or Victor's sister, was never found after the massacre in the 1970s. She's a wild card. Did she manage to get back to the real world? Is she living alone somewhere out there in the forest? Or is she caught in some perpetual state of story walking? I bring this up because I think Eloise is a story walker too. The town wants us to believe we take on specific roles that repeat each cycle. For example, Tabitha is Miranda and Ethan is Victor. If we follow that logic, Julie would be Eloise. And if Julie can storywalk, it stands to reason Eloise could too. Now, I want to brief.
All I know is with all the answers that we haven't gotten ever since from season 1 to season 4, if we don't get some answers next season, I'm talking about all the answers. This will go down to be one of the wackest fire shows ever in history, because it got people to keep coming back even though we know nothing about the show. We still don't know nothing, even with this season finale. We don't know nothing.
Bring up these clattering kitchen cabinets that we saw in episode 401 and the finale. While it's possible this could be someone story walking, there's a bit of a wrench in that theory. Multiple people, including Jim, Martin, the man in yellow, and the waitress monster, were all able to see Julie as she story walked. Why can't we see anyone doing that here? Combine this.
This might be something different than story walking, because if anybody story walks, you can see them. They'll pop up in the past, and you can actually see them and interact with them. So I'm wondering if this is, they're introducing some whole other shit that we don't even know about. I hate this show, but it's fire.
With Boyd's wedding ring that mysteriously dropped down the colony house steps, I do think someone, whether it be a ghost or person in a parallel dimension, is trying to give clues to the people so they can change their story. We know that once a story has been told, it can't be changed, meaning a story walker can't change the story, but maybe they can influence the character's currently living one.
Even the man in yellow said that. But he said it after Ethan said it. He said, you can't change the story once it's been told. So even if you're a story walker, like he just said, you can't change the story, but you can possibly influence the story to go a different way by your story walking. Still don't know what's going on.
There's one character who's gone through the most amount of pain on this show. It has to be Fatima. From her failed pregnancy last season to now turning into some sort of monster. As we begin the finale, we find her and Marielle in the clinic when they're approached by an unsuspecting character, Smiley. This is the creature she gave birth to at the end of season 3. Fatima has a mysterious connection with Smiley that goes beyond just having given birth to him. After this pregnancy, these weird veins started to appear on her body, and the night Kenny was almost killed by Smiley, Fatima could see from Smiley's POV, and even stop him for a moment from killing Kenny. To make matters even more insane, Clara gave Fatima
has drunk so many different people's blood in this show. I'm not surprised that she turned into a whole monster at the end of the episode.
some tea laced with her blood which was tainted by Sophia during this weird blood ritual. So it can be assumed that some form of the man in yellow is a part of Fatima. Will it have the same effect it did on Henry? Can Sophia now give Fatima these manipulating visions? The earthquake had dropped the talisman from the wall, allowing Smiley to enter. And
yo, Jamie, when I tell you this show is so fucking weird yet fire, I don't know. Again, I could tell somebody you need to watch the show From. As soon as you be like, well, what's it about? I'm gonna tell you, I don't know. You got to watch it. Like, I don't know how nothing works. Even in the supernatural universe, you kind of, after a couple of seasons, you could tell how things work. This weapon kills this monster. This ritual kills this monster. We know nothing about this show. It just keeps going on. I don't even think the writers know what they're doing. I think, and the actors are just showing up, acting every day at work. They can't tell us shit.
Corner the two women. Smiley refers to Fatima as mother before ripping apart Marielle's stomach, but it's what we hear afterwards that's most interesting. Fatima's scream sounds like that of a monster. Now, Smiley could have killed Fatima here, but doesn't. He says the word interesting, suggesting he knows that she's turning into one of them.
Yeah, when Fatima was doing all that screaming, as you saw her doing right here, the screaming that she was doing, she sounded just like one of those monsters when they come out at night and they're signaling that they're out and they're hunting. She did the exact same scream. So Smiley was like, that's interesting. You sound like us. I'm going to leave you alone since you wanted a family. He cut open old girl and he walks out.
Monster. Now, Smiley could have killed Fatima here, but doesn't. He says the word interesting, suggesting he knows that she's turning into one of them.
Fast.
In the second last scene of the finale, Fatima fully turns into one of the monsters.
Oh, bro, when she fully turned, and I think she knew 2 episodes ago that she was turning into a fucking monster. When she finally did turn into one of the monsters, I was like, oh. But I'm saying to myself, if I'm Boyd's son, and it's supposed to be I'm not fucking her no more. I'm not sticking my dick in that. Look at that. I'm not sticking my dick in that. She need to stay down in the caves with the monsters. You don't get to come back upstairs after your face turns like that, and you damn sure don't get to lay next to me that night.
In order to buy the others time to escape the tunnels. The question is she a monster fully in control of her own body, or will she slowly turn into one of the others? Her last line, "Remember who I was," suggests the latter. Now, a lot of people have theorized that Fatima is the kimono woman. At first, the only real clue we had to go on is that they wore similar colored outfits, but now the evidence is getting more compelling. We know the kimono woman is similar, but not exactly the same as the nightmare creatures which stalk the town. She can appear during the daylight, the monsters can't, and we've never seen her roam the streets at night like the creatures do. Now that Fatima has been tainted by the man in yellow's blood, it's entirely possible that she is turning into next cycle's kimono woman.
Ugh.
This creates a really weird scenario. It would mean that Fatima was sort of involved in her own kidnapping. Remember, it was Elgin who kidnapped Fatima at the behest of the kimono woman. It was the kimono woman who helped deliver Fatima's baby who would become Smiley. If Fatima is to be next cycle's kimono woman, she'll go on to repeat this cycle for the next poor woman who takes Fatima's role. All of this ties into the theory of endless loops. One of the most...
So how do we break the loop? What would be different that they could do to break the loop and bring everybody home this cycle? There have been several cycles where the man in yellow has won. How do they break the loop? I don't have no answer. I'm the biggest nerd in the world, nigga, and I don't have no answers as to how they can break the loop on this one. I know nothing here. You know what I'm saying? I can't even give you no theories. It's about to get crazy next season.
Heartbreaking stories in the finale is that between Henry and his son Victor. After having his drink laced with Sophia's blood, Henry started to see visions.
All these nasty motherfuckers drinking blood. Pour your own glass of water from now on. Shit.
Of him in the quote-unquote real world. These visions would have him believe that he's in a coma, and the only way to get back to the real world is to kill the thing anchoring him to the fake one. In this case, his son Victor.
Now, what I will gather from this part right here with the whole, he was in the fake world where it was just making it look like he might have been in a coma and this whole entire place is a dream, right? They're saying he has to kill the thing that's anchoring him to that other world so that he can fully wake up. This is the town messing with him, by the way. This is the town messing with Henry. It's telling him to kill his son. I think the town wants him to kill Victor because Victor really has all the answers. But again, his awkwardly social ass, basically growing up in Fromville, like every time you try to get an answer out of this weird motherfucker, the first thing he says, no, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. No. He has all the answers but won't talk. I want Boyd to just kick open the door and smack the shit out of him. That's what needs to happen. If you don't give us these motherfucking answers so we can go home. I ain't had no pussy since my wife died, motherfucker.
Taken several episodes for Henry to muster up the courage to kill his son, a son he thinks isn't real. And the nail on the coffin for this decision is the discovery of the bullets in Victor's peach can. Boyd has ensured all the guns are separated from the bullets, but these bullets Victor had saved from a gun he used to carry around in his lunchbox. So for Henry, this is a sign, as the Victor in his vision told him everything he'll need to undertake his mission will be provided to him. When Henry pulls the gun on Victor, it's the ultimate betrayal. Henry promised his son that everything would be okay and that he would protect him. And for a moment, when Ethan interrupted, I thought Ethan was about to catch a bullet in the head on some Henry just worked too fast or whatever. But luckily, Ethan did not get shot in this scene. I was glad for that. might be a goner. But the last we leave the three of them, Victor is on top of Henry, with Henry saying, "I'm sorry." I'm curious what the fallout will be from this. Will Henry be locked up? Certainly his relationship.
He need to be. He done drunk the blood of the man in yellow. He need to be locked up too, because he's seeing and doing weird stuff that's going to put everybody down.
With Victor is tarnished. I still think there's a lot more story to mine from Henry here, especially if Eloise makes a return in the final season. So as we venture into that final season, I'm hoping we'll start getting a ton of new answers. I'd love to see Julie travel to different times.
See, the man in yellow almost got her ass right there when she went story walk.
Times throughout the town's history and discover clues on how to save the town. But what did you think of the
And that would bring the episode to a close. That was the season finale of season 4 of From. Like my homegirl Jamie A says, she says she's gonna catch up and see what's going on with the show. The show is fire. I just don't know how anything works. Every episode, every season, some new shit pops up and it bears more questions and leaves folks scratching their head, man. But y'all tell me in the comments, if you watched the show, what was your favorite part of the last episode of season 4? Are you still liking the show? Are you leaving it alone for the next season? Because this show is kind of giving me Lost vibes or whatever. So, you know, y'all tell me if y'all still gonna be rocking with it if it comes around, if and when it comes around next year. Jamie said it's a great show. It is a great show. I just can't tell you anything about it. I wish I could. I don't know how anything works here. But y'all tell me in the comments how y'all feeling about that one, man. On to the next one. On to the next one. Yes, we're all still in the season of season finales. As y'all know, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. We're in the last season, season 5. So every episode has to hit in some sort of way. We are now on episode 3 of season 5. It's the last season, so everything has to go up. We're going to see what, I guess the biggest question is, what's going to happen to the Thomas family? And is Kanan going to be the direct downfall of said Thomas family? Is he going to be the person that helps take his family out? I believe he is. And he's not going to find out exactly what's going on and who actually moved the chess pieces around, killing his friends, taking his business and all of that. He's not going to find that out. He's not going to find out it's not his mother until it's too late and too much damage has been done. Maybe he even gets Rock killed. We don't know. But we're going to check out and then we're going to ride the rest of this session on out, man. I hope y'all still smoking. You know what I'm saying? We're going to ride the rest of this session on out. This is going to be from your boy, Mark Dark. Yeah. Please give him a like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. And let's get into it.
Reasonable Doubt with one of my favorite directors in the world, Jade Holmes Christian, and she's got a message for you.
Hi, guys. One of my favorite actors is now going to be one of your favorite directors. Watch Raising Kanan tonight, directed by Joseph Sikora.
Oh, shit. So Tommy directed that last episode.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mark Dark, and I'm back with another video. If you're new, if you love power, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave your theories, comments, everything down below. Now today,
I love just about the way everything that Mark Dark breaks down. I love the way that he breaks everything down, man. If y'all get a chance, please go and check that brother out. I think he happens to be a star/power insider. He knows everything that's going to happen before it happens if you just listen to what he's saying.
we're going to be talking about Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 5, Episode 3. This is the recap. So down below, I want you guys to let me know, how did y'all feel about this episode? What y'all think is going to happen next with Breeze and Kanan? They're taking Unique's corners, you know what I'm saying? They want the old heads out the way. Rock, she is messing up Kanan's business once again.
Here's what I've gathered from the Breeze character so far. The infamous Breeze character that we heard about in all of the seasons of Power, of the original OG Power. He seems like a very, very ruthless dude, but he talks too much, in my opinion. Instead of like laying back and kind of letting things fall where they may, Breeze will tell you the whole plan and still execute the plan. I don't like people that talk too much. I kind of like folks that just let things happen and, oh, you thought that was going to happen. You thought it was going to go one way, but it's really going this way. You know what I'm saying? I like folks like that. Folks that talk too much and divulge too much. They put all their cards out on the table. They're they're in a notion to get clipped. That's how I feel.
Having those corners shot up, and of course, pissing him off and Breeze off. Y'all saw how Breeze was looking. We know in this next upcoming episode that Breeze and Rock, they will have a conversation, and Breeze is very upset. But Rock ain't going. I mean, all she's really doing is giving Kanan warning signs. That's it. But in that conversation that she had with Kanan at Lulu's funeral, she was acting like she was going to really go up against him full force, and that's not going to happen right now. So we're going to see how long.
Rock is still protecting Kanan. Nobody still knows. It's episode 3, and nobody still knows that Kanan killed his uncle. By the way, he still hasn't said sorry to anybody about that. So the Kanan that we know and love from the original OG Power, he's slowly but surely transitioning into that Kanan. Grown Kanan is my favorite character in the Power universe. And the reason why is because all he ever wanted to do was help people out and get money in the streets. Everybody that he's ever helped out, ever loved, they have snaked him or stabbed him in the back. Everybody was like, oh, well, he was the villain of Power. He wanted to try and kill Ghost and all. He tried to kill Ghost because Ghost sent him to jail for 15 years. Him and Tasha. I think anybody would be a little mad that you sent me to jail for 15 years and you took me away from my son. Anybody would be pissed off about that.
It's going to take Rock to actually try to get him up out of here. I mean, it may not happen, but I know we all waiting to see Marvin's legendary ass kicking of Kanan. We know eventually it's coming, and I can't wait to see it, man. It's going to be funny as hell to me. I'm definitely going to watch it a whole lot of times, you know what I'm saying, in slow motion. But in this episode, man, we pretty much just saw operations ran on both sides from Rock and Kanan. Stefano, bitching because Rock is.
So we're going to get there. I'm going to let him explain everything before he starts flipping these scenes.
Doing business with the Manhattan Mafia. Like, dude, you told her to do business somewhere else. Why are you crying and complaining? And that's another conversation that Rock is going to have in next week's episode. She's about to put Stefano in his place.
Early predictions from me, Stefano going to end up catching a bullet fucking with Rock. She bowed out gracefully. Stefano told her, your business in Queens is done. You and your family can't operate around here no more. I say so. I will play hitters all over your organization, and you're not ready to go to war with the mafia. And she's like, all right, cool, you got it. So I can't work in Queens no more. Fuck Queens and fuck Stefano. Let's go to Manhattan. And she banked on the fact that even though all of these Italian mobsters are heads of families and they're basically all working under the same umbrella, even though everybody runs their own family, the Italians never miss an opportunity to shit on each other. And she was banking on that, which is why she went to go see the Manhattan boss, which is how she ends up working in Manhattan. Because he was right. He said, yeah, I really never miss a chance to shit on the other bosses from the other families.
But let's go ahead and begin this recap. I'm going to try to focus on the key points in this episode. If I miss anything, I want you guys to let me know down below. So what did we see in episode 3 titled Tricks? Now in this episode, we saw Breeze and Kanan. They approached Reggie. Reggie pissed off because Unique ain't here no more.
Kanan and Breeze pulled up on that corner so strong, man. And I'm surprised these cats didn't know what it was. We don't know you. You two motherfuckers rolling up here. Why didn't everybody draw?
Bar dropped off. And Breeze is telling him, look, we taking these corners. Unique done ran away. We running this. And Reggie wasn't going. He's out there kicking it with Nigel Sylvester's character as well. They think they running the show. Well, Breeze pulls out the strap. He drops Reggie off right there in front of everybody.
Headshot. I love a good headshot in the Power universe. Reggie told him, he told Breeze, this is Breeze that we're looking at right here. Reggie told him, he said, okay, well, since Neek gone, he was like, this Neek corner. He was like, Neek ain't here. He gone. We running things now. He said, okay, so since Neek gone, it's my corner. So what's up? Breeze was like, this your corner? Cool. Fine. It's over. Now y'all work for us. Or you can get down and lay down like this stupid motherfucker right here.
It's whether you get down or you lay down.
You know
what I'm saying? Kanan pulls out his strap. He is shooting as well. And Breeze has this mentality of, I'm taking over. If you get in my way, I'm going to put you in your place. If you old, you getting dropped off. The new blood is coming in. And Kanan, he is riding right there next to Breeze. This is going to be a crazy storyline. And we already know that Kanan is going to pick up a lot of things from his character. Now we get to Marvin, Flossie, and Rock, and they're going over the game plan. the strategy with these girls. They're only going to be using a select few of girls to run this operation, and the club is going to be the home base. And they want these girls to come there, pick up, and make drop-offs.
I think this is an absolute trash plan to be running drugs from old Flossie here, running drugs through all her hoes. I think this is a stupid ass plan because if these girls get robbed, they don't know how to defend themselves. But, you know, Rock never misses an opportunity to make money, even when the shit ain't all the way thought out.
Not too concerned about girls going out there getting their cheeks clapped. Their main purpose is selling this product. That's it. Now, we get introduced to a new character, Tiana, played by your girl, Asia Cooper. And some believe that she was Jarita. Know what I'm saying? As of right now, she's Tiana, unless they reveal more information about her character. But she wants to get paid. That's her whole objective. She says, I need the money. We know Flossie. She pretty much vouched for her to be there.
This girl gonna end up dead.
And it seems like she's all about that life for real. Well, we gonna see, because we know her and Kanan, they will have a very interesting relationship, right? And we're gonna talk more about her at the end of the recap. Now, we know during this conversation, when Marvin told her, look, you ain't supposed to be opening your mouth unless you got you know what in it. Your girl Flossie, hey, she was turned on by that. She said, you know what? I got to give you my number. We need to have a one-on-one conversation.
I think Marvin, just like the other girl in them earlier seasons, the other white girl, I think Marvin gonna go ahead and knock old girl down right here, even though she told Marvin, you don't got enough money to buy this pussy. Okay, if I don't got enough money, then you just gonna give it to me for free? But whenever you mix business with pleasure, it never ends right. Y'all know that.
I need to get to know you. So once again, Marvin,
I need to get to know you. See, I'm telling you, it's gonna be something with this woman, man.
He's gonna be getting another snow bunny from the looks of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know how his last snow bunny ended. And we talking about your girl Tony Deep Throat. It didn't end well for her, but Flossie seemed
her name's Tony Deep, not Tony Deep Throat. Jesus Christ, Mark Dark.
Seems like a completely different character, and she got more going for herself. So we're going to see how that plays out. Now we get the Jukebox and broke ass Detective Garcia. Jukebox understands that this dude ain't gonna stop messing with her or her family.
Early predictions, Jukebox is going to have to knock off Detective Garcia, because even though you're going to find out later in the episode, she starts taking he starts taking payments from Jukebox directly. I'm not sure if Jukebox is going to let the rest of the family know that she has a cop on payroll. It's going to get messy, and Juke going to end up having to put him down. I think she should have put him down the first chance she got, because a motherfucker like him not going to stop. And the first thing he told her, him thinking he's still in some sort of charge, after she gives him the money, he says to her, if you mess over me, I will kill you. Bro, you're a dirty cop. You're a dirty cop. I can get rid of you anytime I want now. You belong to me. You going to kill me? Now I'm going to kill you. What are you talking about? So it's interesting. I think this is going to be another body for Juke. It just has to happen. He wouldn't stop coming around, and everybody knows in the Power universe, these DEA agents, DAs, SUAs, all the officials, all the FBI agents, anytime they get a little too close, they never make it. They never make it. Official agents and officers always get clipped, and new plugs, when they get introduced into the universe, they always last for a few episodes, and then they get clipped too. I think he's going to be another body, and Juke going to take him down.
And she says, you know what? How about I help you out? I know you struggling with those bills. You know what I'm saying? I know that job ain't paying you enough. And you can tell that boy was looking stressed out. She says, look, I help.
He was shook because he didn't know Jukebox knew where he lived at. And if she know where you and your family live at, she can get to you. He talking about some, you done came too close. You done did too much. I don't know whether to arrest you right now or put a bullet in you. Yeah, see, even the more that I'm thinking about it and talking about it, I see Jukebox going ahead and putting a bullet in his head. She need to. He do too much.
Help you with your bills or whatever, help you get more money. You help me out. What about that? Think about it. This man was pissed off, talking about I should put a bullet in you and all this stuff, talking about all the stuff he gonna do. But one thing he didn't say was no. And she understood that. She knew it was just a matter of time before he popped back.
You didn't say no, did you, Ofe? You didn't say no.
Up looking to get some help. And that's exactly what he did later on in the episode. Now we get to Stefano, and he is pissed off that Rock is doing business in Manhattan. Like, why you so mad? She ain't doing business in Queens, so why do you...
He's mad because he wanted to completely shut Rock down because he feels like she's the reason why he got stabbed last season by Phil Russo, who's also no longer breathing our air. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Phil Russo. He got taken up out of their first episode. Love it. But again, you told her don't do business in Queens. She's not doing it. Rock is about to show you, Tony Danza, who's the motherfucking boss. I think Rock gonna be the one to put a bullet in his head. You're doing too much. She took her business elsewhere, and you're still getting in her business. You know how Rock is, bro. When you do too much, she ain't got a problem with taking you down.
You care. He believes that it's disrespectful for her to do this, and he ain't liking it. And Pino don't give a damn. He doesn't give a damn about how he feels about Rock, what they've been through. Know what I'm saying? And that's it. You're not.
He definitely did tell Stefano to his face, "You're a cocksucker, and I don't care how you feel about it. I'm definitely doing business with this woman now, especially since I know you don't like her."
About to come up there and tell him how to do and run his business. That's the last thing that's about to happen. And Stefano, he understands this, but he just wanted to let Pino know how he felt. But as I told you,
Captain Howard ain't going. He basically told Tony Danza over there, "Boy, fuck you. I do what I want to do. Now walk your ass up out of here before I beat you the fuck up."
Pino is about getting his money, and he doesn't give a damn about Stefano and how he feels. And I'm glad that he told him right there in his face, pretty much like Rock told him to do. Now we get to Kanan and Jukebox, and now Kanan is starting to realize.
All right, man. Younger Kanan, bro. Like, even in this scene, he's saying to himself, you know, that stupid ass damn accent that old boy be having that to sound like grown 50 Cent. Maybe Rock ain't had nothing to do with it. I don't know. I'm more confused now. Maybe she didn't send the police on her. He don't know what to think. He don't think for himself. And a person like that is easily manipulated, which is why he's going to take on a lot of the characteristics of Breeze, because he's going to do everything that Breeze tells him, because Breeze is going to be working the gears in his head, because his stupid ass don't think for himself. He don't start thinking for himself until he get out of jail in the original Power.
That, man, my mom probably was telling the truth about Famous. She probably didn't do that. Yeah, she didn't, dumbass.
My mom probably didn't have nothing to do with it. And I don't even know who the fuck to trust anymore. See, I'm telling you, bro, he needs to think for himself. And it's too easy to just go have a conversation with your mom before this shit get too crazy. But what do I know?
He still don't give a damn. He still doesn't care about Rock, talking about she's dead to me and all this stuff. We know Jukebox, she is trying to get more intel from Kanan about that night that Lulu got popped by him. And Kanan is like, look, nothing happened. We had the typical argument and that's it. Well,
Jukebox ain't stupid. She gonna be the one to figure out that you killed Uncle Lulu. I guarantee you, which is why if you look in the season trailer that they dropped before the show even came out, if you look at it in the season trailer, Uncle Marvin and Jukebox are actually shooting at Kanan while he's trying to valiantly get away to safety. So the only other reason why they could be shooting at Kanan is because they done found out that he killed Uncle Lulu. Direct violation. You killed a family member, bro. You killed a family member. I can't wait till Marvin catch up to this fool and beat the trash out of him.
Bro, I don't believe Jukebox believes that. It had to be something else, and I cannot wait until she figures this out. This boy Kanan, he don't know what the hell he doing. Know what I'm saying? Plain and simple. But he does say that he felt bad about the whole Lulu thing. Well, stand on business. Tell her you did it. Tell her you took him out. Know what I'm saying?
He not gonna do that, man. He not gonna do that. I don't even think he knows. I don't even think Kanan knows that Jukebox is a killer, that she done put a couple of folks down. He can't tell Jukebox that he killed his Uncle Lulu, even if it was on accident, because the fact that it didn't come out right away, it's gonna look like he meant to do it on purpose. Nobody's gonna want to hear, I did it on accident. I didn't know it was him. I thought it was somebody else. Ooh, I didn't mean to do it, man. He just came around the corner and I shot. Ain't nobody's gonna want to hear that because it took too long. And now this bears the question, what is Marvin gonna do to Rock when he figure out that she held that secret for Kanan?
Tell her why you really feel bad. And he talking about he feel bad, but he didn't really show it. But I believe deep down inside, he was just shocked by the moment. And he just had that, stone cold face. But I know it got to be killing him. Well, it's cool because Marvin going to give him that ass whooping that he needs. He needed to drop him off. But
Kanan been needing the ass whooping since season 1. And I agree with Mark Dark. You probably should go ahead and drop Kanan ass off, even though he's not going to. He'll probably come close to it, but he's not going to. He gonna beat the shit out of Kanan though when he find out that he killed Lulu.
That's not happening. Now we get to Marvin. He goes to the barber shop, and once again, he is looking for Unique. Unique gone. Know what I'm saying? From the looks of it, he ain't coming back.
Theory time. Do we think that Unique could possibly show back up in Power Origins? Do we think Joey Badass could show back up in Power Origins as Unique, coming back to take over the city, and he end up being one of the what is it, protagonists of the show? Protagonist? Y'all tell me which one that is. But anyways, I could possibly see them writing Unique back into the show. He was a very, very much so liked character. And for him to show back up in New York to take over some shit after all the smoke done cleared with Rock being out of the game and all that. Because at the end of this season, Rock going to be out of the game somehow, some way. She's either going to go in the wit set because she's going to snitch on everybody. She might be dead. Or she could just hit the road like Unique did. I don't know. Is Rock dead? That is a good question. Rock could be surviving and thriving right now in the current timeline, and we don't even know about it. We won't know until Power Origins, or actually we won't know to the end of this season as the fate of Raquel Thomas.
They tell him that they heard Unique doing business with his nephew, Kanan, and somebody named Breeze. So now Marvin is on the hunt to find out what the hell Kanan is up to. And when he does, we know
Marvin is a true gangster. He took that little billfold out, started paying niggas. What y'all know? What do y'all know? What do y'all know? Somebody get money talks, bullshit runs a marathon. Money will make a motherfucker give up anybody. For the right price, motherfucker give up his mama.
Kanan is going to piss him off. Now we get to Breeze and Kanan once again. Breeze tells Kanan that he's going to give him all of Unique's corners. So you already know Taz is upset because Breeze pretty much does this on purpose to piss him off. Kanan is like, man, I got to make sure my bike guys are taken care of.
I believe this is a test from Breeze to Kanan unknowingly to see how far he's willing to go to get to the top of the game. He's setting it up so that Taz and Kanan are going to have a problem, and it's going to come to a head to where either Kanan's going to have to make Taz fall in line or put him down. And Breeze is leaving this decision up to Kanan to handle as a grown man to see if he's ready for that next level.
Your boy Breeze said, don't worry about that. Taz gonna take care of that. And we know Kanan asked about Unique, like maybe he's gonna return. What about that? Breeze said, well, if he return, we're gonna give him what we gave those other guys the other night. You know what I'm saying? We getting these old heads up out the way. We taking over. And you can see the look on Taz's face. He was kind of like shaking his head.
This snake ass nigga right here, bro. Getting paid and all of that. Talking about I'm getting looked over. I'm getting looked over. All this shit illegal, motherfucker. You should be glad that you alive with everybody dropping like flies. Just play your fucking position. When you're in a situation in any part of life, if you don't play your fucking position, you're going to end up on the other side of a bad situation. Just play your position. But he going to talk too much. Niggas be too motherfucking sensitive. His sensitivities is what's going to put his ass in the grave. I believe Kanan going to put him down.
A little bit pissed off, upset. Well, Taz, we know your days are numbered, and I guess getting pissed off and upset ain't going to do you no good at all. Now, Rock is trying to sell her property at the Southside Plaza, but it's going to be difficult. And we know when she got this property, it was a good investment, but as of right now, it's not anymore with all the crime and bodies getting dropped off around the area. So it's going to be a hard sell. But she is told that maybe a guy overseas would buy it with cash or whatever. So I guess we got to wait and see who this guy is. I did see one of you guys talk about y'all think it's Hafiz or whatever. Well, we're going to see. Now, Kanan finally has the conversation with Marvin about who the hell is Breeze and Unique's corners. And he tells him he believes that Unique is not coming back and that it was him and Breeze that shot Unique's guys on those corners. So it is what it is. He's about business. And he actually offers Marvin a position.
Bruh, when he offered Marvin that job, he said, yo, you know, he said, well, y'all just running around here taking all the Breeze's, all the Unique's corners? Yeah, Unique is gone. And I know he's gone because we taking all his corners and he ain't doing shit about it. Yo, Unc, you know, I got a job for you if you want one, you know. I'm about business right now, Uncle Marvin. Marvin looked at that fool like, boy, who the fuck you talking to? He's like, I'm a true gangster. He grabbed him by his shirt. He was like, I don't know who the fuck you think you are or who this bitch ass Breeze dude think he is. He said, but I'm a real gangster, boy. You know what I'm talking about? You nor that motherfucker who you with can even get on my level. I'm up here. You motherfuckers can't even see me. He said, I would never work for you. You work for me. I said, okay. London Brown, the guy who plays Uncle Marvin, he carried this entire episode. He's honestly been carrying the whole season so far. We only, 3 episodes in? Every episode, he been on his shit.
Marvin is like, what the hell is you talking about? Like, you work for me. You know what I'm saying? You would never be above me. He felt like Kanan was disrespecting him. You know what I'm saying? Because that's his uncle. And of course, we know he's learned.
He was disrespecting him. This is one of those situations where the motherfucker get too comfortable and think shit happen to him.
A lot from his uncle. So Marvin ain't going at all. And right now, this is just a warning to Kanan, letting him know that he ain't playing around, that he's a true gangster, right? But Kanan didn't really show any emotion. It didn't seem like he let it get to him, but we know he kind of had like a little smart comment when Marvin ended up leaving. But man, it's all fun and games now, but we already know what time it is. It's going to be ass kicking time real soon. Now we get to Rock and she is having flashbacks.
And because they only have, what is it? I want to say either 8 or 10 episodes in each season. The ass whooping has to come pretty soon here. I hope it comes in the next episode. I need for everybody to figure out quick that Kanan killed Uncle Lulu. So this last season can truly take off.
Back to the night that Lulu got dropped off. She telling Marvin, look, we got to move to another room. She can't take it. You know what I'm saying? She's also telling Marvin that just forget about Unique. Unique, he left, but he didn't run. He, of course, went somewhere else to rebuild because he feels like he cannot win there, which is very smart. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to beat.
Do y'all think Marvin would drop off Rock if he finds out that Rock knew about Kanan killing Lou and she kept that secret undercover? Do we see Marvin putting a bullet in Rock?
There, you're pretty much going to, get smoked. Unique understood this. And now Marvin is like, okay, maybe I should move on. But he wants to get Unique because he believes Unique killed Lulu. And now Marvin sees that Rock is not really trying to press Unique, just like Kanan, right? So they both have two things in common. And I believe Jukebox and Marvin, they're picking up on this, and eventually the truth will be revealed. Now we get to Stefano and Kanan. Y'all know Stefano pissed off at Rock for doing business in Manhattan.
Again, get out that woman business, man. Get out of her business. This is how you going to end up dead. Rock is going to finish the job that Phil Russo should have finished.
With Pino and Flossie, he tells Kanan this. Kanan don't really give a damn. He's like, look, she doing business in Manhattan. We good. Know what I'm saying? We in Queens. Why we give a damn about what she doing? But we know Stefano's like, well, that's embarrassing to me and I can't go. And I want to make sure my problems with your mom is not going to be a problem with you. Know what I'm saying? Basically saying, look, I may have to do something to her. Kanan tells him, well, I got more mess with my mom than you. And Stefano tells him, well, I'm not surprised. So now Kanan understands that Rock is doing business in Manhattan.
Bro, you're setting your mom up. But at the end of the day, you got to remember, they're still family. And yeah, Kanan was mad at Rock when he was running around with Ronnie for a little bit. But you remember, he told Ronnie don't fuck with his family. He might have a change of heart at the last second. Kanan might be the person that takes out Stefano here for messing with his mom.
Manhattan. And I believe this is why we end up seeing the scene at the end of the episode with Kanan meeting up with Tiana, because he wants to see if he can get any intel and see how his mom is operating. That's just what I'm thinking. Y'all can let me know down below. But at the end of the day, Kanan is definitely making some moves on his mom's. And right now, she don't see it coming, but eventually she will. Now we get the Jukebox and Jackie. And Jackie, she is catching feelings real quick. And this is what she's selling Jukebox. But y'all know Jukebox, she ain't trying to catch no feelings at all. She's trying to get her freak on in the back.
Jukebox keep taking this girl that she done met at the little gay club and taking her to the bathroom and having the girl eat her out and all of that kind of craziness. Well, I guess they moved over to the girl's spot. She told her, hey, this ain't no one night stand thing. Like, I catch feelings real quick. I'm just not going to be in some nasty bathroom eating your coochie. We got to figure out something. This got to be something official. And Juke hit her with the, why does it have to be anything official? Y'all say us niggas ain't shit.
And trust me, Jackie, you want to keep it that way. You don't want to get too close to her because you're going to be another body that's going to get dropped off. But we're going to see how they develop this storyline.
Also, too, when it comes to Jukebox, I don't believe we've seen the last of Aisha and her family. I got Jukebox possibly dropping off Aisha, too, just to like kind of clip all the ends of people that she feel might have gotten too close to be able to say something about her family. This is when we're going to see Jukebox really turn into the Jukebox that we know from OG Power. Ruthless, crazy, quick to pull that trigger.
Now we get back to Marvin and Flossie. They're having that one-on-one conversation. And we learned that Flossie's daughter passed away a few years ago. We also know that Flossie, she respects Marvin because Marvin is not trying to control everything. Yes, he is the enforcer for the family, but he allows Rock to do her thing. He allows Rock to lead. And that's because Marvin already had his turn back in the day. Marvin was all on them drugs. He was messed up. So Rock took over. And ever since then, Rock has been the lead. But Flossie, she likes it that he's not trying to do too much. And this is just the start of this relationship between the two. Something gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Your girl Flossie and Marvin just may hook up. Y'all let me know.
I think they are, mainly because she told Marvin, you don't got enough money to buy this pussy. Like I said, she gonna hit him. I hit her with the, so you gonna give it to me for free then? I'm just saying, if I can't buy it, can I get it for free?
Down below, do y'all believe that Marvin is gonna clap those cheeks, or will it be just business and that's it? Now we get to Breeze and Snaps and Pops. They're talking about Unique. You know what I'm saying? What's the word on Unique? Well, he left. You know what I'm saying? But we understand that Unique came back before he raised hell. But Snaps and Pops understands that maybe he left. He made a better adjustment because he couldn't win there. So it's no use for him staying there because he's going to die anyway. So Unique made the best move, which allows Breeze, Kanan, Snaps and Pops, and Stefano. It allows them to do what they want to do without having any issues with him anymore. And since those soldiers is out the way, it's even easier. Now we get back to broke-ass Detective Garcia. And
I'm telling you, he's looking at her right here talking about some, if you fuck me, I will kill you. No, sir. You might get 1 or 2 payments before you get taken off the board. Jukebox gonna get tired of your shit.
Now he has a price. He gives Jukebox this note letting her know how much he's going to need. And he's talking about, now, since I gave you that, it's not no going back for the both of us. And if you try anything, I'll kill you. Well, vice versa, because she'll kill your ass too. Now, we know Jukebox is doing this to protect the family. And at the end of the day, when it comes to this storyline, it ain't going to end well for law enforcement. Law enforcement, they're always going to have the tail end of the stick. They always get screwed over in all of these Power shows. I mean, we already know what time it is.
Facts.
But the question is, will Detective Garcia be able to get something out of it? Does that mean that Marvin gonna get locked up or somebody else? Well, I guess we gotta wait and see, but I still don't see it ending well for him.
Nope.
Now we get to Marvin. He is going to church, having a conversation with the pastor, and we've seen this time and time again in the Power universe, where usually these characters go and they kind of get stuff off their chest. They're stressed out. It's like a relief. It's like therapy. Marvin still wants to get the person that killed his brother, and he ain't gonna stop. He feels like it's gonna help him out, right? Well, we're going to see. You know what I'm saying? When he finds out that it's Kanan, he's going to lose it. We know the pastor was talking about that you need to make peace with Lou's death. Well, Marvin told him he don't need that. He don't need no forgiveness. He needs his brother. So
every time you get some sort of foreboding in a situation where a motherfucker tells you to leave something alone and you don't, in the Power universe, that person that doesn't heed that warning, that foreboding, they normally end up out of here.
Marvin, he is going through it. Now we get to Taz, and man, he is upset. He is pissed off. Apparently, word around the block is he's going to lose his position because of Kanan. His boys is running their mouth, and he ain't liking how these guys are talking to him. Next thing we know, he's beating them down, talking about, that's not happening. I'm not going nowhere. He tells them,
Taz should have whooped their ass. Some white boys was talking too much shit. Just get y'all product and get the fuck on. You ain't have to tell that man that he been getting sunned all around town by some teenager. You didn't have to tell that man that. He already insecure. Look at his face. Insecure nigga. Sensitive. Sensitivity. Nigga look like Ralph Tresvant. Face ass boy.
You better watch how you talk to a black man. I mean, he going through it, y'all. He is going through it, and you already know he about to cry in the car.
Yep.
He gonna take his frustrations out on Kanan later on in the episode. Now, your girl Jukebox was watching the classic, hanging with Mr. Cooper, and then she has a conversation with her father, and basically she wants to leave. She's like, look, how about me and you leave Southside, go somewhere else. Marvin ain't really trying to go nowhere. He tells her, look, how about you leave? Get away from all of this. And she says, hell nah, I want to be with you. You need somebody to protect you. You need me by your side.
If she would have left when he told her to leave, and if she would have stayed in the army, Jukebox would have turned out a totally different way. I truly believe that.
And I'm not going. She loves him. Very emotional and sad scene. We know Marvin tells her that he loves her more than anything. And Jukebox is like, well, if I want to stay, I'm going to be right here working with you. And he's going to have her working at the bar. So we're going to see how it goes. But Jukebox, she just wants to protect her dad. She don't want to lose him. Now we get to Kanan and Taz. Kanan is counting money. Taz talking about, I ain't going nowhere. I was here before you, and I'm going to be here after you and all that.
Man, that shit was funny. Kanan was over there counting shit or whatever. Your man was in his face talking about some, I ain't going nowhere, little nigga. Yeah. And you ain't passing over me. Fuck you, Kanan. Kanan was like, this bitch ass nigga messed up my count, bro. So he act like he ignored him, and then he laughed at him. Me personally, I'm already thinking with my grown mind. I'm probably either I'm handling this shit myself, or maybe I'm telling Breeze, get your man before I had to do something crazy to him. Get your man before I wash him like dirty laundry. Seriously, get your man. You want to know what he said to me the other night? This is what I'm doing if I'm Kanan or whatever. Or I might even told Taz right then and there, yo, bro, you better watch your mouth, bro. I ain't no fucking kid. I might be a kid in age, but I ain't no fucking kid. I will get you the fuck out of here. Of course, you know, like I said, Taz is in the way. He's going to get put down messing with Kanan. It's going to happen.
This stuff running his mouth. Like, really? Kanan ain't even thinking about dude. All he is just doing is counting his money, laughing at him. Now, we get back to your girl Jukebox and Marvin. He has her working at the bar. He tells her, if something goes down, get that strap and get the busting. Hey, your girl Jukebox, she ready to catch another body. Did y'all see a look on her face when he mentioned that gun? She happy as hell. Now, Jukebox's main objective is to collect money from the girls that's going to be coming in, and that's pretty much it for her. Now, we also know that Rock, she had Kanan and Breeze's corner shot up, basically to give a warning sign. And we know your boy Breeze was pissed off, and they're building up this conversation that Breeze and Rock are going to have in the next upcoming episode.
And see, Rock, when she sent those soldiers out to shoot up that block, she was like, don't hit nobody, just kind of, scared them. But somebody got shot.
I can't wait to see it. Now, we get back to Rock and Marvin is talking about how he went to the pastor to have a conversation. We know he is trying to get over this Lulu stuff, but it's really getting to him. And he's like, man, maybe we're all lost and we ain't never going to be found. And he talks about how when it comes to looking for Lulu, it feels like he's looking for something that he's never going to find. And when he looked into that room, the look on Rock's face, it was priceless. She's like, man, he about to figure it out. Because Marvin said, even though he's looking for it and he can't find it, he's still not going to give up. So we already know what time it is. They're continuing to build this up, but Marvin and Jukebox will find out what really went down. Now we get the Jukebox and Rock. Your girl Rock goes into the bar. She sees Jukebox. She's like, man, you know what I'm saying? It's good that you're here. You're working with me, or matter of fact, you're working for me. And we know Jukebox said, nah, I'm working with my dad. Rock.
Man, Rock hit her with the, right, you working for your dad, because I ain't got nothing to do with that. Like, this ain't my operation. And she was like, you funny, Juke. You was just on me about the shit that I do and all of that, talking about some you don't want to be like us and don't want to be like me, but you in here working for me now. No, I'm working with my daddy. No, bitch, you working for me because your daddy worked for me. She was like, you funny. Y'all know I have that theory that women really hate each other. And normally a woman's first hater is her mama. So, and Rock is like a mother figure to Jukebox. So we're going to see how all of this plays out this season too. You know what I'm saying? We know Jukebox goes on to be a cop in DC, a crooked cop, but a cop in DC. So she lives after this. What happens with Rock, we do not know. And that is one of the biggest mysteries of this season and series.
Talking about, oh, yeah, you right. You funny, Juke. Well, Jukebox is getting very upset with you because she understands that you got a lot of secrets that you ain't putting out there. And eventually they will be having a conversation. So I hope we get to see that in the next upcoming episode. But you guys let me know what y'all think.
And that was basically the end of the episode. You know what I'm saying? It was a great one. Again, this is another show that because it's the last season, you can't write down. You have to write up. Phil Russo died in the very, very first episode. You have to write up, man. You have to write up. I see this being a spectacular season and a series finale leading into Power Origins, which will also be leading into Power Legacy with Tommy and Tariq. But y'all tell me how y'all feeling about that one in the comments. All right, the session's over. I know this one took a little longer than it normally does, man. I am fried, dyed, and laid to the side as usual. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what your favorite part about today's live was, what your favorite show is, all the stuff that we reacted to, man. It's your boy, Slave DiBiase. This is the Offenders Initiative podcast, and we are out. Y'all be easy, man.